record of 2-1. 1-0 in SEC play. Comes to Tuscaloosa. The Razorbacks have won here in each of their last 2 appearances. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. I'm Sean McDonough. It's great to have you with us as the Alabama football program tries to refocus on football. It's been a week of tremendous turmoil here in Alabama. It began last Saturday in Birmingham when in the final seconds Louisiana Tech pulled out a victory on a Brian Stalwart Deshaun Cangelosi pass. The extra point gave the Bulldogs a 29-28 victory. Early in the week came the news that athletic director Bob Backrath had his contract bought out. With that brought speculation that Mike DuBose, the football coach, might be next out the door. I'm joined by Todd Blackledge. Todd, how does this Alabama team focus on football?
Well, they focus on football. That's how they do it. Their main goals are still intact. That loss was a terrible loss last week, but it wasn't a conference game. They're 1-0 in the SEC. They can still win the West. They can still get to Atlanta to play for the championship, but it starts against a good team that embarrassed them last year.
And when you talk about Alabama, it starts with the Heisman hopeful, the outstanding tailback, Shaun Alexander.
Well, he is the bell cow of this Alabama offense, no question, averaging nearly 150 yards a game rushing, also a very dangerous pass receiver, 227 yards per game, all-purpose, and he's great in space. He can also return kicks, had a kick return for a touchdown last week against Louisiana Tech. But this Arkansas defense is an attacking defense. In the last 2 games against Shaun Alexander, they've held him to 62 yards, so it'll be up to the Alabama passing game and Andrew Zhao to take a little pressure off Alexander.
Arkansas off to the 2-0 start, but still with some question marks. One is the young and inexperienced offensive line, which will get its first true test today. The other is the health of starting quarterback Clint Stoerner.
Yeah, he's got a bum shoulder, and it's going to be a game-time decision. And if at all possible, they want him to play because he brings a toughness and a game experience in the SEC that they can't do without. Anthony Lucas, his main go-to guy, averaging over 33 yards per catch. And Alabama, the last 2 weeks, their secondary has had major problems with big receivers. Lucas is the biggest and the baddest that they've faced yet.
For more on the shoulder of Clint Stoerner, here's Michelle Tafoya.
Well, Sean, the decision to start Clint Stoerner was indeed a last-minute one, but given the way he's been struggling with that separated shoulder, but he warmed up well today in practice, and Houston Nutt tells me now the main concern is protecting his quarterback, but Nutt also said his backup, 23-year-old redshirt freshman Robbie Hampton, had a great week of practice, has an excellent grasp on the offense, so if Stoerner does get hit and cannot respond well, he's more than confident in his backup, Robbie Hampton. Back up to you.
It is a beautiful day here in Tuscaloosa, 83 degrees, very low humidity, virtually no breeze to speak of, and the forecast is for more of the same throughout the weekend. Arkansas won the toss and deferred, so Alabama is going to receive the opening kickoff. Tony Dodson, the left footer, senior, will kick off for the Razorbacks, and this game is underway. Santonio Beard, a true freshman, couldn't handle it in the back of the end zone. A booming kickoff by Dodson, and that means Alabama will start at the 20-yard line, led by Andrew Zhao, the sophomore from Lake Butler, Florida, who took over the starting quarterback chores last season. This season, 5 touchdown passes and 2 interceptions. And Todd, he's a dual threat, can throw the ball, but also can move around.
Yeah, and that mobility has to come into play because, again, this Arkansas defense will play 8 guys around the line of scrimmage. They will key in on Alexander, and Andrew Zhao has to make some plays, both throwing and running today.
They bunch 3 wide receivers in a line out to the left. Interesting formation to start the game, and they throw a quick pass to Freddie Millens. He weaves through traffic out to the 26. They're looking for more from Millens, who is a big play receiver, but has just 8 catches now for the season with that one. Millens and Jason McAdley are the wideouts. Terry Jones has become a pass receiver in this his sophomore season. Up front, Chris Samuels is an All-American candidate. They think he'll be a first-round draft choice in the NFL. And lots of experience, with the exception of the true freshman Dante Ellington starting at tackle. That offensive line has a combined 6,800 snaps. A quick hitter to McAdley, and he's out of bounds with a first down. Harold Harris tackled him. out near the 35-yard line. 1st and 10, Alabama.
And what the Alabama coaches have told Andrew Zhao, we're going to spread this formation out, and if they don't cover a wide receiver, we automatically rise up and throw the football right now. No Arkansas defender right over the slot receiver. Get up, get him the football right away. Force Arkansas to spread that defense out away from the football.
That throw to McCadley considered a rushing play because it was a lateral. Zhao dumps it off for Dustin McClintock. He's chopped down by Antrea Moss. Short gain of 2 out to the 36. The Arkansas offense will take the field in a moment. And we'll familiarize you with the offense again when it takes the field. We'll give you the defensive starters in just a moment.
This is a good start for Andrew Zhao right now, Shaun. A couple quick, easy passes, get him into a rhythm, get that adrenaline level down. Only completed 8 passes the last 2 games, so this is a very good start for him.
They spread the field with 5 receivers. Zhao has a lot of time. Underneath throw and a big hit delivered on Alexander. J.J. Jones is playing with a broken hand. He delivered the pop.
He's got a lot of energy left because he has not played the last couple weeks with that injury. First game back, and watch him just unload on Alexander. Now, you know that everywhere number 37 goes, there are going to be swarms of Razorbacks around him, and J.J. Jones laying in wait for him that time.
3rd down and 4. Hogg showing blitz. It's a screen, deflected and intercepted by Randy Garner, the defensive end.
We saw a similar play by Alex Brown last week, just knowing he couldn't get to the quarterback, but reading the eyes. And watch Randy Gardner just time his jump, get a hand on the football, and then the nice recovery. Outstanding play by the defensive end.
And after the turnover, Arkansas will have it 1st and 10 Samoan.
I was born to be a cashier. I've been a cashier for 35 years. That's my office right over there. That's where I do all of my business.
Good muscles working.
I know most of my customers by name. Really, I do.
Hi, Gabby. How have you been, Rico? Thanks, George.
You don't have to stand in my line because I'm fast. For me, it's an easy job because I have so much fun doing it. Our goal here at Home Depot is to have the lowest prices in town. If you find an item in another store for a lower price, we'll meet and beat that price.
Does that make you happy, ma'am?
Makes me extremely happy.
People deserve good prices because money is hard to come by.
Used to be. If I want something done right, I called me. It worked. Until I tried to quit smoking. I needed more than me. I got Nicorette. Nicorette helped me 2 ways. I used it on a regular schedule to help prevent my cravings. And for unexpected cravings, I was ready with an extra piece. I used to be a slave to cigarettes. Nicorette helped me hang on, helped me win. Now that I'm nicotine-free, I gotta tell you, it feels good to win.
Now, Nicorette is available in mint. What a refreshing choice. You can do it. Nicorette can help.
Gene Littler also playing a 6. Hit nicely. Covering the flag all the way. Right for it. A terrific shot.
Oh, look at this.
Beautiful. What a great shot.
Hello, Stuart. So you're Abigail's special friend from the office.
Yeah, whatever. Okay, Stuart, what are your plans for the future?
Well, I wouldn't mind living here.
No, what's your passion, Stuart?
I like to trade online. You ever heard of Ameritrade?
I'm a stockbroker's son.
Dad, he only pays $8 a trade.
Give a kid a computer and he thinks he can beat the market.
I don't want to beat the market. I want to grab it, sock it in the gut a couple times, turn it upside down, hold it by the pants, shake them out to all those pockets, empty out all that spare change. Let's see.
Ameritrade. Call now.
The Broncos battle back against the Buccaneers. Or Neil O'Donnell leads the Titans against the Jaguars' dominating defense. The NFL on CBS, the way it should be.
Mike Dubow's squad hurt last week by 4 turnovers in the loss to Louisiana Tech. And a turnover on the first possession day has Clint Stoerner under center at the Alabama 34-yard line. 26th consecutive start for Stoerner, playing with the injured right shoulder. Throws a bullet on his first attempt. to the fullback, Nathan Norman. That's the first time he's touched the ball this season. No rushes or receptions for the starting fullback entering today's game. He's ordinarily a blocker for Chris Chikuma, their leading ball carrier, and you saw the big play threat at wide receiver Anthony Lucas. The offensive line, the question mark. Bobby Williams is the only returning starter. The other 4 starters up front, each making his first SEC start today. They have some concerns along that front line about mismatches with this talented Alabama front. Here's Chikuma. Running right and very close to a first down. It appears he has it inside the 24-yard line, where Cornelius Griffin and Miguel Merritt made the tackle. Griffin and Kenny Smith are outstanding defensive tackles, and Kenny King is a true freshman making an impact at right end. Another true freshman is Salim Rashid. The coaches think he'll be one of the all-time Alabama greats when he leaves. And in the secondary, the coaches are looking for better play from the safeties. That's been a problem. They have limited depth at that position. And they think their safeties get tired late in the ballgame. On first down, Stoerner throwing toward the end zone, up for grabs and incomplete. Looking for the tight end, Joe Dean Davenport, and it was Marcus Spencer, the safety, who made the play. So if they're looking for better play from the safeties, there's one.
Well, the only thing that could have been better is if he could have made the catch, because Spencer was in perfect position, read this play all the way. Here he is. Watch him watch the quarterback. Is not going to get fooled on the play action. The tight end is open, but Stoerner threw the ball far too inside. He needs to keep that away from the safety, and Spencer made a nice play on the football.
Marcus Spencer, former walk-on, who earned a scholarship here at Alabama. Now a junior. He's from New York, Alabama. Second and 10. Arkansas at the 22 of Alabama. Stoerner threw it away. Anthony Lucas was well covered. We expect to see a lot of double coverage on Anthony Lucas today.
The big concern about Clint Stoerner is not how he felt during warm-ups or during the coin toss, but it's going to be how he feels after he gets hit a couple times. This is a very physical front 4 of Alabama, and he's going to get knocked around. And as Michelle said, with a right shoulder for a right-handed quarterback, you can't put special padding on or do anything to really protect it. It's just got to hope he doesn't get a direct hit.
Third and 10. Manuel Smith, the motion man. Flip it out to Marvin Caston, the fullback, inside the 10 and knocked out of bounds near the 5-yard line by Reggie Miles. They're going to spot Caston down at the 2, and that's a gain of 20 yards on the play.
2 plays in this drive. They've gone to the fullback. Nobody's going to pick him up. It's a linebacker blitz by Alabama. You've got 2 very young linebackers in there playing, and nobody accounts for the fullback, Caston. Good play calling by Houston Nutt, getting the fullback involved in the passing game twice on this opening drive.
In the red zone this season, 3 touchdowns in 4 possessions for Arkansas. They scored a lot of big plays. The reason they don't have that many attempts inside the red zone. Chikuma, touchdown.
If you're a road team playing in a hostile environment in the SEC, this is what you want to do. Score on your first possession, get a turnover from your defense, and a good push on the right side of this young offensive line. The only experienced guy up there, the right tackle, Bobby Williams, and they went right on his side.
Tony Dodson to try the extra point out of the hold of Matt Burstein. Chuck Nally is the snapper. And the kick is perfect, and it's a perfect start for Arkansas. Houston Nutt had to like what he saw from that young offensive line on the first series.
There's this place in the neighborhood where they have these outrageous you pick 2 platters, and basically you pick 2 out of 3 entrees. It's 2 on 1 plate. You get the Cajun steak with all those sizzling spices, or a pile of succulent roasted garlic shrimp, or barbecue chicken with that sauce that sticks to your lips and your mind like some really interesting dream. It was too good to end, but it will, just like the you pick 2 platters. 2 entrees, 1 plate, only at Applebee's.
With Transamerica Investments and Insurance Products, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to be financially successful. The people in the pyramid working for you.
I think AOL is one big community.
It's not hard at all to use.
Customer service is always there to help.
I've never heard of anybody else having what AOL has.
People that are on are just like you.
America Online. So easy to use, no wonder it's #1. Sign up today.
We've heard your complaints about changing your oil filter, trying to grip that slippery filter. That's why Fram, America's #1 filter, now has Sure Grip, a rough textured top for easy gripping and installing.
It makes changing your oil filter a lot easier.
At Transamerica, we have insurance products and investments for retirement that'll help you plan for your next career. The people in the pyramid working for you.
I think AOL is one big community.
It's not hard at all to use.
Customer service is always there to help.
I've never heard of anybody else having what AOL has.
People that are on are just like you.
America Online. So easy to use, no wonder it's #1. Sign up today.
7-0 Arkansas. We talk about the great start for the Hogs, but for Alabama, team in turmoil, exactly what they did not need.
Yeah, and Houston Nutt told us the first 8 to 10 minutes of the ball game would be critical for his team. The same could be said for Alabama.
Dodson, another booming kickoff down in the back of the end zone by Freddie Millens. So he's 2 for 2 in touchbacks. The NFL is coming your way on CBS Sports here tomorrow. Of course, it all begins with the NFL today. Then the games begin at 1. Denver looking for its first win of the year against that tough Tampa Bay defense. And in the late games, a battle of 2 unbeatens, Tennessee and Jacksonville. Alabama starts at noon with the NFL today, presented by Southwest Airlines. On first down, they pitch it to Shaun Alexander, running left. Good moves. Out of bounds in Arkansas territory at the 47-yard line. A gain of 33 for Alexander, who just moved past Dennis Riddle into third place on Alabama's all-time rushing list.
This is a fast, aggressive defense, and sometimes they get a little too fast and too overactive, and Shaun Alexander does a nice job of breaking one tackle there of J.J. Jones. And then I mentioned he is great in space. He has great speed, great vision in the open field, and he got a nice block downfield from his wide receiver, Tim Bowens, to get him about 10 extra yards.
The Arkansas 47, Alexander straight up the middle. Going, he can get the tough yards inside as well. He's close to another first down at the 37, where Jeremy Flowers and Andrea Moss combined on the stop.
And a pretty good move here by Charlie Stubbs, the quarterback coach, who's calling the plays, and Neil Callaway, offensive coordinator at Alabama. That first drive, a lot of 4 wide receiver, tried to spread out the Arkansas defense, threw the ball a little bit. This time they're kind of getting back into some power football and attacking the heart of the Arkansas defense. Giving the ball to number 37.
And now he's in pursuit of the great Johnny Musso and Bobby Humphrey, the only 2 rushers in Tide history ahead of Alexander. And the fullback, Dustin McClintock, with the dive into the line on 1st and 10. He got 2. Now the Arkansas defense. Randy Garner already has the big play of the game, the interception that set up the touchdown. They play with just 2 linebackers. Quentin Caver and Jamel Harris, who's an Alabama native, and 5 defensive backs, although the Bandit and Rover sometimes take on a look more of a linebacker than a defensive back. Movement along the line and a flag down. Middle screen for Freddie Millens with a lot of running room. Touchdown, but there is a flag.
I think it's going to be offsides on Arkansas. The right defensive end, I think, jumped early. And Andrew Zhao did a great job of hanging onto this football long enough to find Millens. The timing was disrupted on this play a little bit, but Zhao didn't panic. He hung in there and got the football to Millens. It's a wide receiver screen. This guy is a playmaker for Alabama. Get him the football, and then you can see what he can do in the open field. He was a quarterback in high school, a very elusive runner in the open field. Nice executed play by Zhao and Millens.
And an impressive drive in response to the Arkansas touchdown. 4 plays to cover the 80 yards. Now to Millens on a 35-yard touchdown pass. And Chris Kemp, the junior from Jacksonville, Florida, added the game-tying extra point. Freddie Millens with his 2nd touchdown of the season. Arkansas and Bama tied at 7.
Are you ready? Ready to spend more time living and less time ironing? Then get new wrinkle-reducing Downy Premium Care. It's going to change the way you feel about your clothes. It has clear, natural enhancers that help reduce wrinkles. So right out of the dryer, your clothes are more ready to wear, which leaves you ready to live. And for less than a penny a garment, why let wrinkles stand in your way? New Downy Premium Care, ready to wear.
You can't imagine the tension, Dad. Jamie was our last hope.
Phone calls like this are just too important to rush.
Their pitcher was huge.
That's why we always dial 10-10-3-2-1.
And then Jamie really smacked it.
With 10-10-3-2-1, our calls over 10 minutes are half off. That's just 8 cents a minute, day or night. And at 8 cents a minute, we can talk as long as we want.
Grandpa wants to talk to you. I won the game!
Talk as long as you want with 10-10-3-2-1.
When Americans take to the road, they generally take stuff.
We have the stroller, which has to be in the car at all times.
Transports my bike and anybody else that wants to go.
That's why Americans are switching to Chevy Malibu.
Powerful, roomy, comfortable.
Malibu offers a V6 and still costs over $3,000 less than Camry and Accord.
We're very happy we bought the Malibu.
The car you knew America could build. Malibu.
Step into a new Malibu and get 0% APR financing up to 36 months or $1,500 cash back. See your local Chevrolet dealer today.
Samo and Arsenio are back.
You found a bomb?
I am a bomb! In the unforgettable season premiere.
I just triggered it.
Of Martial Law, CBS tonight.
The kickoff from Lane Bearden, taken by Hubert Loudermill. And the speedster's down at the 25-yard line, tackled by Jeremy Walker.
Let's go back to the game-tying touchdown. This is Millens right here, but watch Andrew Zhao show the poise and the patience as this middle screen does not open on time. This is a quick throw. You want to get rid of the football, but he has to reload, and he just backs up just enough to give himself some time and space to get the ball to Millens, and Millens does the rest. Good poise and presence by the young quarterback Zhao.
And there's Millens, the sophomore from Starkville, Mississippi. Clint Stoerner was 2 for 4 on their first possession. And Arkansas went 34 yards after an interception for a touchdown. Chris Chikuma back in his home state. He's from Montgomery, Alabama. He picked up 8 before he was tackled by the safeties, Tony Dixon and Marcus Spencer. Second down and 2. We talked about the inexperience up front, in sharp contrast to last year when Arkansas had a veteran talented offensive line. But right now those 5 gentlemen are doing a terrific job in both the running and passing games. Chikuma stopped short of the 35-yard line and appears to be just short of the first down. Excellent pursuit by Marvin Constant, the redshirt freshman middle linebacker.
Well, the concern for Arkansas coming into this game was they knew that Alabama had the best, by far, defensive front that they've faced this year. They were going to get tested physically. The Alabama defense has big defensive linemen and fast linebackers, and they try to free those guys up to run and make plays. So a real test, and for a lot of those guys, the first SEC game.
And against lesser foes, a struggle this season to rush the ball. 3.2 per rush for Arkansas in the wins against SMU and Louisiana Monroe. Chikuma stopped very close to the first down. That lunge at the end might have picked it up for him, although they're going to spot the ball back inside the 35-yard line. Tony Dixon, the safety. It was Dixon in particular whom the coaches were looking for more from And he provided a big play here.
And good push by the Alabama defensive front forced Chikuma to take that thing out a little wide. Jamie Carter, number 90 in there, a big fellow, about 345 pounds, got a good push right over the center and forced that play to go a little bit wider than designed.
The measurement is just short by about 6 inches. And they're going to punt it. Houston Nutt thought about it for a moment.
Again, that play forced out a little bit wide. Chikuma trying to get the ball reached forward, but good push on the inside by the defensive tackles of Alabama.
Now Freddie Millens back for the punt from Richie Butler, the true freshman from Harrison, Arkansas. Done a very good job. Averaging 42 yards a punt. Boomed a 63-yarder against Louisiana Monroe. I wish in Louisiana they'd go back to the directional names.
Yeah, it seemed a lot easier.
Yeah, it doesn't seem quite the same. Wobbly punt taken by Millens at the 25. And a 10-yard return to the 35. And he was tackled by Jeremy Flowers. A 41-yard punt and a 10-yard return. Monday on CBS. Is the King of Queens' wife falling for another woman? Find out the shocking truth on an all-new The King of Queens. Monday at 8, 7 Central on CBS, America's most watched network. Andrew Zhao led the Tide on an impressive touchdown march. 80 plays, 80 yards in just 4 plays in the last possession. They have that formation with the 3 receivers on a line to the right. And Zhao throws, picked off. Kanoy Kennedy. He picked it off and lateral to Andrea Moss, who was knocked out of bounds at the 17-yard line. When you combine it, it's a 24-yard interception return. Just the 3rd career interception for one of the best safeties in the country, Kanoy Kennedy.
He's a guy who's been a starter since his freshman year, and he was watching the quarterback all the way. That's what a good free safety will do. Study the eyes of the quarterback, and then had the presence to get a few extra yards by flipping it back to Andrea Moss. 2 turnovers for Keith Burns' defense.
Mike Dubose trying to rally the troops again. Arkansas scored a touchdown after its first interception by Gardner. Now Stoerner throws it over the head of Emmanuel Smith. Let's get an update on the Auburn-Ole Miss game from Tim Brando.
Shaun, Tide fans will tell you their favorite team is Alabama and whoever plays Auburn. Well, Ole Miss, going against their former head coach Tommy Tuberville, Romero Miller finds Corey Peterson first overtime opportunity for the Rebels. Then on the defensive side, Ole Miss gets it done. Jeff Klein, a redshirt freshman at quarterback for the injured Ben Leard, who hurt his shoulder. He is pressured and throws the incompletion, and it's David Cutcliffe, the ex-Tennessee offensive coordinator, gets his biggest road victory.
And Tommy Tuberville loses in his first matchup with his former team. The run stopped. Cedric Cobbs, the true freshman, met behind the line of scrimmage by Cornelius Griffin.
I enjoyed talking to Cornelius Griffin yesterday. Really kind of a soft-spoken guy, but he doesn't play soft. Number 97 in there, 6'3", 292 pounds. Great penetration, and then finishes the job when he gets to the ball carrier.
In his second year at Alabama as a junior college transfer out of Pearl River. Came here in large part because his first cousin, Quincy Jackson, was a receiver for the Tide last year. Out of the shotgun, Stoerner wasn't looking for the snap. Has time to recover and throw toward the end zone too high. Looking for Lucas. They had some problems. There is a flag down on the play in the preseason with shotgun snaps. The penalty is against Arkansas, and it'll be turned down. And Joe Ferguson, the quarterback coach, said they'd worked out the shotgun snap problems, but not this time.
Well, one of the problems is the noise in the stadium. You can see the center snapped it early, Stoerner was not ready. They may have to go to a no silent signal where Stoerner will just have to lift his foot to let the center know when to snap the ball. That time Hanlon thought he heard something, snapped it before Stoerner was ready.
Tony Dodson on to try a field goal. A 37-yard attempt. He's perfect in his career. Hasn't missed a field goal or an extra point this season. And becoming the starting kicker, and you knew that would happen. But he hooked it back in. Looked for a moment that he'd miss it. But he had that late draw that golfers like. Dodson liked it too. 10-7, Arkansas.
And now, the Fidelity Mentors of the Game.
My mentor is Coach Fitz Hill, and that guy, he's really taught me a lot since I've been up here. I have the utmost respect for Coach Hill. Coach has done a tremendous job in coaching a lot of great receivers that done came through here. He knows the game extremely well. He should be every man's role model, I think, with the type of things he's done, you know, here at the university and just throughout his life.
Well, a lot of field goal kickers hooked the ball. Dodson did here. Started out outside the upright. Just did hook back inside, and Dodson still perfect. He's also 2 for 2 and touchback while kicking off today. And this is another good one, not quite as deep, but Millens in the middle of the end zone does elect to down it. Now it's time for the Sun America virtual playbook.
Well, one of the plays that Alabama has to utilize because of their running ability with Shaun Alexander is a quarterback bootleg. We haven't seen one yet, but every defense is going to pay attention to where 37 is, and that sets up some good play action passes or runs with Andrew Zhao. You get the defense committed to the run. The linebackers hang in there. You can get the tight end behind him or hit the fullback out of the flat.
Fumble on first down. Alexander lost the handle, and Arkansas has recovered the 3rd turnover by Alabama in 8.5 minutes. Jermaine Petty knocked the ball out.
Not what Alabama wanted. They had 4 turnovers a week ago in the loss to Louisiana Tech. Here, another one, the 3rd of the ball game. And Shaun Alexander, who's used to carrying the football a lot, just not very careful with the football in that particular carry. And the ball popped out.
Looked like he lost it when he ran into the back of his offensive lineman, Griff Redmill. So the first 2 turnovers resulted in 10 Arkansas points. And the Hogs will try to convert again. Cedric Cobbs, the speedy freshman. Inside the 15, close to another first down. Another true freshman, Salim Rashid, made the stop. Cobbs, one of the most highly touted high school players in Arkansas high school history, out of Fair High School in Little Rock, where he won a state championship last year, rushed for more than 2,000 yards, averaged 13 yards per carry. Was also the state champion of the 400 meters. He can fly. They've timed it 4.3 in the 40. On second and short, nothing doing. Kendall Moorhead greeted Chikuma.
Alabama's defense in a couple duress situations here early in the ball game after turnovers, having to defend their own territory. Another big 3rd down play for the Tide.
They go with the quick play. Chikuma throwing for the end zone, incomplete. Looking for Emmanuel Smith. He was covered by Milo Lewis. They came very quickly out of the huddle line there, digging into their bag of tricks. We'll give the Alabama defense credit. After the interception moments ago, they forced a field goal try, and now they'll force another.
Look at all the confusion in here by Alabama. They didn't get into position very quickly, but fortunately for the Tide, one guy was in position. Milo Lewis was not fooled by the fake and was there for the defense.
Here's Dodson trying a 32-yard field goal. Officially a 36-yarder a moment ago. They'll need to hook this one again. No good. The hook was a little bit too late this time.
Well, he flirted with it both times. He got the enough movement on the first one. This time clearly outside the left upright, and Houston knows that he let one get away. You get turnovers here, you want to capitalize with points. Mike DuBose applauding his defense. That's a definite win for the Alabama defense.
The last 2 turnovers by Alabama have resulted in only 3 points for Arkansas. Could be much worse for the Tide. Having committed 3 turnovers, Alexander taken down from behind by Jermaine Petty, the sophomore from Inman, South Carolina, with great pursuit from the backside in his first year at Arkansas out of Butler County Community College in Kansas.
Nobody cut off Petty on the backside. There was a man there. They just didn't cut him off, feeling that he couldn't get there quick enough to get Alexander from behind, but he showed a real burst there on that play.
And it's not a surprise. When he was in high school in South Carolina, he won the 100-meter dash, the state high school championships. Three wide receivers, and they pitch it to Millens. He's in trouble behind the line of scrimmage. Delivers a stiff arm to Andrea Moss, and he goes out of bounds at the 20-yard line. No gain on the play.
One of the ways you try to attack an over-aggressive defense, an attacking defense, is misdirection, reverses, bootleg, that kind of thing. Millens does a nice job of avoiding one, but Andrea Moss in good position, doesn't get credit for the tackle, but did a nice job holding his ground and forcing it to be a short gain.
Now 3rd down and 10 for Alabama. 4.5 minutes left. The formation again with the 3 receivers in a line to the right. Zhao under pressure. Throws back across field. Caught by Tim Bowens. First down, Bama out of the 37-yard line. A gain of 17. Chris Brooks was putting the heat on Zhao, but he escaped.
Alabama trying to create some things with this triple stack formation. Bowens is going to go all the way across the field. Credit the offensive line pass protection for Alabama that allowed Zhao to wait that long for Bowens to get open across the field. But a key conversion on 3rd down.
Just the 13th career catch for Bowens. He's a senior. They stick with 3 wide receivers. Jason McCadley, the motion man. Alexander has running room. First down across midfield to the Arkansas 49, where Andrea Moss made the tackle.
When you defend Shaun Alexander, you better be disciplined and you better not allow cutback angles. Shaun Alexander sees nothing to the right. He cuts it back, and there's nobody there. He's got clean sailing outside. You've got to be disciplined when you come up the field on the backside on defense. Got to stay at home. Don't give him those cutback creases.
57 yards now for Alexander. 14 on the last rush. Clintock back in the backfield. Zhao taken down by Sasha Lancaster. First sack for Arkansas, and the first of the season for Lancaster, a sophomore from San Antonio, Texas.
Lancaster's a guy that just makes a lot of plays. He started the first couple games because Carlos Hall was suspended, but now he's into a backup role. But when he's in the game, he makes plays. He has a high motor, a little bit of a free spirit. He's got some interesting side things that he does off the field, but he makes plays, and that makes defensive coordinator Keith Burns very happy.
A number of earrings. Last year he used to paint his face for every game, but the NCAA has outlawed that this year. Alexander, good cut inside.
Shaun Alexander, 3-yard gain.
He's to the 48-yard line, and Houston Nutt cheering on his defense with a big 3rd down and long upcoming. What a pleasure it was yesterday to chat with Shaun Alexander, the senior from Florence, Kentucky. Already earned his degree last spring. and is working toward another. Earned his degree in marketing, is working toward another in finance. Devout Christian young man, president of his class for 4 years in high school in Kentucky. Zhao throws, it is incomplete. Nearly caught on the ricochet by Tim Bowens after it went right through the hands of Orlando Green. That was a poor throw by Zhao because the receiver was open behind the defense, but the ball was a little bit short.
Well, I don't think he was throwing to Bowens, Shaun. I think that's what the problem was. You're going to see Bowens in the ISO. I don't think he was the intended receiver. I think the intended receiver was Millens, but Bowens almost comes up with it off the deflection. And Andrew Zhao has to be fortunate he didn't get another pick there.
He's thrown 2 already. Now a punt. Patrick Morgan, senior from Birmingham, averaging 44 yards per punt. That's 16th in the nation. This is a short nose-up spiral. It goes out of bounds near the 18-yard line. They'll spot it at the 20. 33-yard punt for Morgan. Now let's flash back to Applebee's traditions of the game in the 1980 Sugar Bowl. Bear Bryant, the head coach of Alabama, Lou Holtz at the helm of Arkansas. The game's MVP was Major Ogilvy. He scored 2 first-quarter touchdowns to lead the Crimson Tide to a 24-9 victory. Bama finished the season at 12-0 as unanimous national champs.
Major Ogilvy is one of Timmy Brando's favorite players. Always talked about Major Ogilvy running the football for the Crimson Tide.
I believe Major Applewhite, the quarterback at Texas, was named after Major Ogilvy. Emmanuel Smith. The motion man, Cedric Cobbs, the rusher, up the middle to the 22.
You know, you talked about Cedric Cobbs and how highly recruited, highly decorated he was in high school. Watching him on film, Shaun, he has a chance to really be special. He is the total package. 6'2", 215 pounds. You mentioned the speed. A very instinctive runner. And coming into the day, he had only touched the ball 13 times, but he had scored 2 touchdowns. I expect to see him more in the ballgame today because he can be a difference maker for this Arkansas offense.
He had a 53-yard touchdown run at SMU, the longest run by an Arkansas freshman since 1979. Out in the flat, a nice open field tackle made by Tony Dixon on Marvin Cast in the backup fullback. If they were looking for improved play from Dixon today, they've been getting it.
Yeah, really a nice play by Dixon. He didn't get fooled on the play action. He knew where the football was going. He reacted quickly. And he's there to make the good tackle against a bigger man. That fullback Caston's 240 pounds, but Dixon was there in good position to make the play.
3rd down and 9 for the Razorbacks. 4 wide receivers. And the inside handoff out of the shotgun results in nothing for Cedric Cobbs as Chris Horn met him behind the line of scrimmage.
Maybe a little conservative by Houston Nutt on this 3rd down play, but thinking maybe they can sneak a draw in there, but good penetration again by the inside tackles, and then a quick reaction by Chris Horn, the linebacker.
And the punt in the air from Richie Butler. Millens returns it to the 50-yard line. He was tackled by Jamel Harris. 46-yard punt to 12-yard return. And that's the end of the first quarter. With the score, Arkansas 10 and Alabama 7. We'll return to Bryant-Denny Stadium right after this message and a word from your local station.
Financial goals require solutions. Dreams deserve dedication. Success demands performance. If there's something you want to achieve, the principal has one word of advice. Plan ahead, get ahead. The Principal Financial Group.
My name's Andy McDonald. I ride this useless wooden toy for a living. It's hard. I've been doing it for 13 years. I'm still lame. I do a trick called a 540. Took me a good 6 years to learn. There's a whole generation of skateboarders out there that are just as talented athletically as any basketball or football player. It takes somebody that's not going to be afraid to fall down a lot, because you definitely will fall down. You're not a failure until you refuse to get back up. Drugs are only going to hinder what I'm trying to do. That right there is my idea of getting high.
Wake up to the all-new Early Show with Brian Gumbel and Jane Clayson, coming November 1st.
I just want to celebrate.
It's the final days of the Ford authorized clearance. Get both 0-9 financing plus 500 cash on Explorer with available dual side airbags and reverse sensing system. It's the best offer ever. Or celebrate with 0-9 financing on the powerful, roomy Expedition. Get both 0-9 plus 500 on Explorer and 0-9 on Expedition at your local Ford dealer during the final days of the Ford authorized clearance.
It's not really a good time to talk. Can I call you back?
Radakotta, why don't you join us in a vow of silence? Are you saving your voice for chanting?
With PowerTel's rates as low as $20 a month for 100 anytime minutes, now's not a good time to give up talking.
PowerTel.
Most compact club cabs just aren't cut out for big loads. So you end up leaving a little cargo behind, having to lose a little weight, cutting your funds short. Dodge Dakota, however, is different. With more available payload, towing, and power, Dakota, anything less doesn't cut it. Dodge Dakota, different.
Sports fanatic John Appicello, weeknights at 6 and 11.
After one quarter, Alabama trails by 3 despite 3 Crimson Tide turnovers in the first quarter. And it's Alabama's ball to begin the second quarter, operating from its own 49-yard line. 2 tight ends into the game. And they try to pound it on the ground with Alexander. Tyler Watts in at quarterback now for Alabama. Redshirt freshman who's been seeing time in a limited role in the first couple of games of the season. And Todd, you have to give credit to that Alabama defense. They rose up after the turnovers.
Yeah, they're very fortunate, Alabama, that the turnovers haven't cost them more. But I think the 2 defensive tackles inside for Alabama creating some problems now for that young offensive line of Arkansas.
And the Razorback coaches told us they may change around some of the people up front if they have some problems today. Alexander picked up 1 on first down. Now they go to a spread formation with Watts, the redshirt freshman, out of the shotgun. He's a good thrower, and he's on target to Tim Bowen. That's a first down at the 41-yard line. Let's check in with Tim Brando.
Shaun, Central Florida has played Purdue, Florida, and Georgia Tech in succession. Today they get Georgia. Watch now, fifth pin, looking for Kenny Clark, number 88. A correct call by the SEC officials. He commits offensive pass interference against Jeff Harris. Dogs hunker down, hang on, get LSU next week.
Wow. Wow. How about the quarterback that Central Florida's played? And that list of teams that Tim mentioned.
Nightmare for defensive coordinators. Geez, Drew Brees, Doug Johnson, Joe Hamilton, and Quincy Carter today. 4 of the very best in the country.
Tyler Watts handed off to Shaun Alexander. As we mentioned, he has had some playing time. Most of his action against Houston in a one-sided win. He was 3 out of 7 passing in that game and 0 for 1 in the game against Louisiana Tech. Coaches said he'd play today. Neil Callaway, the offensive coordinator, told us yesterday he's a good player. We want to get him some experience.
Yeah, they want to get him game experience that is meaningful, not just mop-up game experience, because you never know what's going to happen.
So we don't think this move right now, at least, is in response to a shaky start by Zhao. Watts almost had it picked off by Randy Gardner. A pass intended for Shaun Alexander, but Gardner was not very far away from his second interception of the ball game.
We saw Gardner do it to Zhao. He's going to do it again. Here he is right here. Watch him just read the eyes of the quarterback. He read this screen very quickly, and if he was just a half a step quicker, he was gone the other way for a touchdown. A very experienced guy, Randy Gardner, is reading those quarterbacks. He knows that they're trying to bait him into rushing up the field, and he's made 2 very good plays from that defensive end position.
And as Tyler Watts gets more of that experience we were talking about, he'll learn not to make that throw. Watts looking to throw again, throwing deep, and that ball is intercepted by David Barrett. The fourth turnover committed by Alabama. The third interception, 2 by Zhao, and now 1 by Watts. Jason McAdley was the intended receiver, but that ball was well overthrown.
Shaun, the rule of thumb for a quarterback is if you're going to throw deep, you throw early. If you're going to throw short, you can come to that late. But you can't look short and throw deep late. Interception, Arkansas.
Some people get nervous when that door goes up. Not me. But then I deliver to all the shops. Nervous people like crunchy food. Don't sell much nervous food here.
Good Wrench Good Time Savings means great deals, like brake service front or rear for only $99.99 or less. It's a good time to see GM Good Wrench Service Plus.
Good time savings? No wonder I don't sell any nervous food here.
It is more than a trial by fire. It is a rite of passage. And if you can master your fear, outsmart your enemy, and never yield even to yourself, you will be changed forever. The few, the proud, the Marines.
What would you do with a crystal face hand polished to withstand 2 tons of unadulterated pressure? What would you do with a tachymetric scale so precise it can survive 240-degree heat? What would you do with the world-renowned Alpha Expedition timepiece? Well, you'd probably just use it to tell time. And at $6,500, that watch could cost you over $30,000 in retirement savings. We just thought you should know. Ask a financial advisor about Sun America, the retirement specialist.
We got to know more. CBS Sports Line.
In '94, he had 7 sacks.
Where are you getting all this information?
It's all right here, an alumni tracker.
CBS Sports Line, when you've got to know more.
Only 2 minutes into the second quarter, already 4 turnovers committed by Alabama. They committed 4 last week in the loss to Louisiana Tech. We chatted with Shaun Alexander yesterday. He said, we committed 4 turnovers last Saturday. You can't blame the coach or the athletic director for that. Play action pass. Stoerner walking along the goal line, throws an interception. Picked off by Milo Lewis. Just the second interception of the season for Alabama, both by Lewis.
Shaun, Clint Stoerner is not 100%. It's obvious he's not throwing the football as well as he's capable of. And this time he wants to throw the football away. Again, good pressure on the inside. He's throwing the ball away, but a very poor throw. Stayed in the field of play, and Milo Lewis with the interception.
Milo's in his first year at Alabama, transferred from City College of San Francisco. He was a first-team junior college All-American last year. From the 20-yard line, with Zhao back at quarterback. The toss to Alexander inside the 15 and down near the 12-yard line. Gain of 8 for Alexander. Jamel Harris made the tackle.
Alabama's doing a pretty good job of mixing up their formations in terms of spreading the defense out and then getting back into more power football. They just got to protect the football. They're moving the football. They're making some plays on this Arkansas defense, but they have not protected the football.
How about that nugget? First time an opponent's been in the red zone. They've given up just 6 points. The 1 touchdown against Louisiana Monroe was on a long play. Deepest snap against Arkansas prior to this had been at the 22-yard line by SMU. In the season opener, 3 points per game allowed. That's best in the nation. And they're third in the nation in rushing defense. The Hogs allowing just 43 rushing yards per game.
No disrespect to their first 2 opponents, but you really have to consider who they played in those first 2 games. They have not played a team anywhere near SEC caliber yet, and that's why Alabama having some success moving the football.
And a big third down play here. 3rd and 3. Movement on both sides of the line. Ron Gilbert is the referee leading this Southeastern Conference officiating crew.
Ball before the snap. Ball start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
You know, Shaun, that seems like a small penalty, but that is a huge penalty because it was 3rd and 3, which means you had the run pass option in the red zone. Now you move back 5 yards and you have 3rd and 8. Now you're almost definitely in a passing situation in the red zone. A very difficult penalty, and penalties have been killing Alabama through the first 3 ball games.
Mike Dubose trying to avoid going below 500 for his career record as head coach, looking for his first win ever against a ranked team as the head coach at the time. Zhao has a man. Millens needs to make a move. The crowd thinks he got there. The officials are going to spot him short of the first down. David Barrett shoved him out, shy of the markers. Now the crowd is booing the spot.
One way to get a playmaker free is to put him in motion. Even though he's working against their best cover guy in Barrett, the motion forces that coverage to loosen up a little bit, and you see the quick feet of Millens trying to get that first down.
4th and short. It looks like Mike Dubose is going to go for it. And the Hogs want a timeout on defense. CBS Sports coverage of the Home Depot College football will continue after this word from your local station.
Heads up for Everybody Loves Raymond. The address is CBS.
Over the years, a lot of businesses have put their names on one line of trucks. The one that offers the most powerful V10. The one that was first to offer quad cab versatility. And the longest lasting full-size pickup on the road. We understand this name thing. We're pretty fussy about what we put ours on, too. Dodge Ram. Different.
Put some muscle in your money during the Super September sale at Rex. Right now, get this RCA 46-inch projection stereo monitor receiver with home theater video system and more for just $14.99. Rex has this Panasonic pound quarter camcorder with 3-inch color LCD monitor for only $4.99. And this Magnavox with VCR Plus programming and bilingual on-screen menu is a low $89. Your dollar buys more during the Super September sale now at Rex.
Get a worn winch kit for just $69 when you buy a new Arctic Cat ATV. The ATV that works hardest for your dollar now works even harder. Arctic Cat, a whole different animal.
Dr. Kirk Brode, Monday on News 12.
Alabama going for it on 4th and less than a yard.
I think it's a good call from Mike Dubose at home. You got the best back.
They don't give it to Alexander, and it's McClintock, the fullback, with that late lunge that appeared to pick up the first down. Jamel Harris hit him, but couldn't stop him shy of the 10-yard line. And the gamble appears to have paid off for Mike Dubose, but no signal yet from the officials. They're going to measure.
You got an experienced offensive line. You got your center back, but this is great second effort by Dustin McClintock, the big fullback. He was stopped at the point of attack, but he kept his legs moving and spun forward, and I think he got the first down because of that spin.
He did. McClintock at one time weighed 271 pounds. So when we refer to him as the big fullback, he used to be bigger. The coach has gone on his case to lose some weight. Now he's around 250 as a junior from Quinlan, Texas.
He's a very talented runner in high school, and the coaches feel that his ability, his versatility as a runner, receiver, blocker, gives them a lot of different things they can do offensively. That was a big run by McClintock there.
We're seeing that versatility in evidence today. He rushed for more than 4,400 yards in high school. McClintock shifts out of the backfield to lead the way for Alexander. Cuts back. But he cannot escape. Randy Garner had him by the leg and wouldn't let him go. And a great job there of staying in the cutback lanes by Houston Nutt's defense.
You've got to do that against Shaun Alexander because he has very good vision, as all great backs do. Now watch as Alexander tries to cut this back. He thinks he's got some room. He's going to cut it back inside, but Garner holds his ground and is there to make the sure tackle. Gets a hold of that ankle and will not let go. Did not overrun the play. Again, another good play by Randy Garner.
He's off to a terrific start. Already has an interception. He's a junior. Atlanta, Texas.
Didn't get the play off.
They have 4 wide receivers into the game. On second down. But Zhao took too long to get the snap, perhaps. There might have been movement.
No, false start. And again, another one of those penalties that doesn't seem like a big deal, but a critical penalty. You're in the red zone. You just converted a huge 4th down, and now you put yourself in a 2nd and 17 situation. It's tough enough in the red zone because the defense only has to defend the short field. Very difficult to be effective in the red zone when you have long yardage situations.
Very difficult times for Mike DuBose. Certainly is not outside the realm of possibility that he could be fired even during the season. Fresno University gave him a very lukewarm show of support earlier in the week. Zhao throws, caught, touchdown, Antonio Carter, the true freshman.
Well, here's Carter right here, but watch the protection up front by Alabama. Carter's going to run across the field. He's been bothered by an ankle. Again, look at the protection, and Zhao had a chance to read the whole field and come all the way back across to Carter.
Carter's first career touchdown, followed by the Chris Kemp extra point. Alabama takes the lead for the first time today. 14-10 tie.
Some people get nervous when that door goes up. Not me. But then I deliver to all the shops. Nervous people like crunchy food. Don't sell much nervous food here.
Good wrench, good time savings means great deals, like tire rotation and balance for only $29.99 or less. It's a good time to see GM Good Wrench Service Plus.
Good time savings? No wonder I don't sell any nervous food here.
There is a place on the internet, a virtual city built by SAP out of seamless information. 10,000 companies, every industry, millions of people. Your business linked to theirs in one easy step. Shrink your work, expand your ideas. You've got a business, we've got a city. MySAP.com. Welcome to the City of E.
Now that we've blended Jif with chocolate, apples and cinnamon, and the taste of berries, they'll do whatever it takes to get some.
You're fast, but not fast enough.
New Jif Smooth Sensations. Peanutty Jif blended to make a luscious chocolate silk, apple cinnamon, and berry blend. 3 sensational new choices for choosy moms.
See that berry blend left?
Tim Brando in New York. Coming up on the AXA Halftime Report, Spencer Tillman and I will get you caught up on all the scores and highlights in a big day of college football, including one of Rashard Casey's touchdown passes here to Sam Crenshaw en route to a Nittany Lion victory over Indiana. Now back to your game.
14-10 Alabama. If you don't think linebackers watch quarterbacks' eyes, watch Quentin Caver. Andrew Zhao is looking this way the whole time. He can't find a receiver on that side, so when he comes back across the field, Caver was just following the quarterback's eyes the whole time and never picked up the underneath coverage on Carter. That was zone defense. Caver just got fooled by the eyes of Andrew Zhao.
Lane Bearden will kick off. Hubert Loudermilk, also been a track athlete at Arkansas, back for the kickoff. Look out for the sideline. He caught it. Now the question was, did he catch it inbounds and then he went out of bounds? Yes, say the officials. It was very close to going out of bounds before he caught that. And the officials are conferring at the 7-yard line, but it appears that's where they're going to spot the ball. A key mistake by Hubert Loudermilk.
Well, he's a track guy, a very fast guy. He must have thought he was playing in Canada here or something. Thought he had a little more wit.
Looked like he was out of bounds, didn't it?
Yeah.
Lane Bearden's a happy man. Well, now the Hogs have to begin at their own 7. Marvin Gaston, the fullback, in front of Chris Chikuma. Quick throw. Stoerner clearly not feeling well with that injured right shoulder. Here's Tim Brando.
Shaun and Todd, the last time Memphis played Tennessee, it was at the Liberty Bowl. Peyton Manning's junior year, you'll recall, Memphis won that game. Today in Knoxville, Eric Parker takes off 69 yards this punt return for a touchdown. Memphis is a pretty good team. They lost to Ole Miss by 3 and Mississippi State by 3. Right now they're down 7 in Knoxville.
We thought we were going to see those shiny orange britches last week in Gainesville. They broke them out at home today for homecoming.
2nd and 10. Chikuma has a hole in the middle and goes out across the 10 to the 13-yard line. Salim Rashid and Marcus Spencer combine on the tackle. Do you want to have the best tailgate party in the lot? Get free shipping on all of your favorite team gear, grills, chairs, flags, and more. Go to cbs.sportsline.com or on America Online at keyword CBS Sportsline.
Shaun, Arkansas needs to find a way to get Anthony Lucas involved in the ball game now. He has been a non-factor, and we're almost 8 minutes away from halftime. He is a big play guy, one of their key playmakers. They've got to get him the football.
And a timeout called by Arkansas. They had 12 men on the field. Just one timeout left for Arkansas.
Welcome to the Home Depot Kids Workshop. Today we're going to be making a beautiful birdhouse. Everything okay? We need to put the bottom on first. There's one thing to show a young fella how to swing a hammer, but there's another thing to hold a nail while he's swinging it. And we have a list of different items that they get to make, and some of them are very talented.
Esta es la casa del pájaro chiquito.
Anytime you can show any youngster how to do something and do it right, to me that's the best reward you can have.
When you buy a bargain basement PC, what you're really buying is a mystery box. Will there be a monitor? Probably not. A color printer? Ha! A year on the internet, 24/7 tech support? Dream on. With a Gateway Essential PC, you know exactly what you're getting. Monitor, Intel Celeron processor, award-winning tech support, and a color printer for $29 a month. No mystery there. Call now and make no payments until 2000.
Hey, Jen, we're counting on you.
Last weekend in the Army Reserve, I had to refuel 6 Apache helicopters in 30 minutes. That got me ready to do battle on Monday.
Hey, not too shabby.
As little as 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks a year. Army Reserve.
We've heard your complaints about changing your oil filter, trying to grip that slippery filter. That's why Fram, America's #1 filter, now has Sure Grip, a rough textured top for easy gripping and installing.
It makes changing your oil filter a lot easier.
According to the man he chose to write his biography, Ronald Reagan was both an old, spaced-out man and a great president. 60 Minutes, Sunday.
Well, so far, the Alabama defense has done a terrific job, particularly on the big play wide receivers for Clint Stoerner. All 3 Stoerner receptions have gone to running backs. On 3rd down, Stoerner throws behind Anthony Lucas. He still hasn't completed one to a wide receiver. And you wonder if they'd consider going to one of the inexperienced backup quarterbacks. There is a big drop-off, but it does appear that Stoerner is nowhere near 100% physically.
Yeah, he normally will make this throw. I mean, that's his favorite target. He's a big target. It's a quick throw. But again, the pressure inside, the 2 defensive tackles, Kenny Smith that time 88 and Cornelius Griffin, Arkansas having major problems blocking.
Richie Butler with a low line drive punt. Freddie Millens gets a block from the official and goes down at the 32-yard line. Tackled by Kenoy Kennedy. A 14-yard return of just a 32-yard punt.
I really like this guy, Shaun. He is a playmaker. Watch how quick his feet. When you're a punt returner, the key is to make the first guy miss. He makes the first 3 guys miss and then picks up 2 blocks, one from an official and one from his own man on the sideline. But Freddie Millen's a very exciting player when he gets his hands on the football. And Alabama doing a nice job right now finding ways to get him the football.
Again, great field position for the Tide at the 32 of Arkansas, 1st and 10. Alexander delivers the stiff arm to Jeremy Flowers. Flag down. Alexander down inside the 20. Out of bounds at the 17, but there was a flag thrown.
Yeah, this one's going to come back, but this is really a great run by Shaun Alexander. Arkansas had Alabama outmanned. They had one more defender than Alabama could block, but Shaun Alexander took care of him. Jeremy Flowers, nobody blocks him, but Alexander beats him one-on-one. I think the penalty was on the tight end, Terry Jones Jr., trying to block downfield. But a great job by Shaun Alexander taking on one-on-one the bandit back, Jeremy Flowers, and beating him.
We talked with him yesterday about his Heisman Trophy candidacy. He said, I think they have a great shot at it, but he understood that games like today are very important. On national television, a game they really need to win. A lot of times how your team is doing is a factor in a Heisman candidacy. Alexander belted down by Kenoy Kennedy. Here's Michelle Tafoya.
Well, you guys, if Shaun Alexander were to win the Heisman Trophy, it wouldn't be his first successful campaign. He was elected class president every year in high school. He told me he loved to be able to affect change. Now, he hasn't been involved in school government here at Alabama, but he did tell me with a certain gleam in his eye, he is considering adding politics to his future, guys.
We'd have to think he'd be successful at it with his intelligence and personality. Zhao throwing toward the end zone into traffic, incomplete. He's lucky to get away with that throw for Freddie Millens. Kenoy Kennedy, part of the double coverage, and Kennedy knocked it down.
When you have playmakers, you find ways to try to get them the football. This time, play action off the option, but it did not fool Arkansas because they were in man-to-man coverage. Good position by Harold Harris, and he got help from his veteran free safety, Kenoy Kennedy. You know, play action can affect defensive backs if they're not playing man, if they're playing zone and looking at the football. But when they're in man-to-man bump and run coverage, normally you're not going to fool them.
Alabama took a long time to get this play into the huddle. 5 seconds on the play clock now. They snap it with 2. Zhao, the pump fake, has to get rid of it, going deep and almost intercepted again by David Barrett. He was looking for Tim Bowens, but Barrett was much closer to it. And a decision now for Mike Dubose. It'll be a long field goal try from here, about a 47-yarder. And that's what he's going to do. Try a field goal with Chris Kemp, who's the backup field goal kicker. Ryan Flugner was injured during the warm-up last weekend, pulled a right quad muscle. Kemp got pressed into duty and did a great job, but he's off the mark with this one. Look like some of those Ryder Cup shots we've seen early on from the Americans. Fat and off to the right. For Chris Kemp last week, they finished the warm-up. Flugner came into the dressing room with the injury. And some of the other players on the Alabama team went over to Kemp and said, you're going to be the kicker. Flugner hurt himself. He ran back out onto the field to practice some more, to warm up, because he really didn't pay much attention during the warm-up. And they were trying to dodge the band as they were taking some extra warm-up kicks with the rest of the team in the locker room.
That's special time for the band there before the game, man. They got first priority on the field at that point.
Stoerner out throwing. There's a completion to a wide receiver. It's Emmanuel Stewart, the senior. Emmanuel Smith, rather. We'd have a story if it was Emmanuel Stewart. And Emmanuel Smith boxed his way for 16 yards out to the 47-yard line.
Well, that was a good throw by Clint Stoerner. He hung in there. He waited for Smith to clear on the little quick post and made a nice throw in front of his receiver.
Cedric Cobb's in at tailback now. Flag down. Looked like the nose man was offside for Alabama. Cobb's down with very little.
Cedric Cobb's the ball carrier.
But it appeared there was movement along the defensive front.
Yeah, Jamie Carter was in there. Defensive tackle moved early. And I'll tell you what, I think if Arkansas is going to make a move here and move the ball offensively, they need to do it in this drive, because Jamie Carter and Jarrett Johnson are now in there on the tackle. Here's Jamie Carter. Watch. He's right over the football. He's listening to the voice of the quarterback rather than watching the football. That's why he jumped off sides. But there's a little bit of a drop-off from Kenny Smith and Cornelius Griffin to Jarrett Johnson and Jamie Carter. And those two guys are in right now, giving the starters a break. It's a good chance for Arkansas to get some movement in the football.
Clint Stoerner's pass for 26 yards. Started the day needing 207 yards passing to pass Barry Lunny and become Arkansas's all-time passing leader. Stoerner looking for a deep ball. It is behind Lucas, but caught at the 30-yard line of Alabama for a first down. 17 yards on the completion to Lucas.
Here comes the starting front four back in the game for Alabama. They're feeling it too. You got to get Anthony Lucas in the ball game, get his hands on the football. Did a nice job of shielding the defender with his body, Milo Lewis, and making a catch. Just like in basketball, you got to get the guy his shots. You got to get his hands on the football, get him involved into the flow of the game before halftime.
Lucas understands that analogy. He was an all-state basketball player in high school in Louisiana, recruited by New Orleans and Centenary, among others. Played basketball, but elected to play football at Arkansas. Chris Chikuma up the middle. A short gain of 2 to the 28. Kendall Moorhead took him down.
You know, regardless of what happens with Mike Dubose in this whole situation here, the bottom line is Alabama is getting closer to being what they used to be in terms of a contender and a talented football team. There are a lot of good young football players on this team. They have recruited extremely well the last couple years. I really think it is a team on the rise from a talent standpoint anyway.
Just Chikuma in the backfield, 2 tight ends. In for Arkansas. Stoerner looking deep for Lucas. The ball underthrown and batted down by Milo Lewis. Lucas was behind the defender by just a little bit. The ball needed to be long for Lucas to have a chance.
We mentioned that Alabama's had some trouble with big receivers. Shaun Cangelosi last week killed him from Louisiana Tech. Anthony Lucas, another big guy, 6'3", 6'4", going against a smaller cornerback. But Milo Lewis in great position and makes the good play on the football. Again, Clint Stoerner is not throwing the ball like he normally does. Didn't get enough on that football and forced the receiver to have to wait for it a little bit.
Ordinarily on that particular pass, he throws the ball very high and lets Lucas go up to get it. That wasn't the throw that time. On 3rd down, the screen to the near side. Emmanuel Smith bounced off the pile, but he's short of the first down by about 4 yards. Kendall Moorhead made the stop. And now Houston Nutt has a decision to make on 4th and 4 at the 24 of Alabama. Here comes the field goal unit.
Kendall Moorhead made the tackle, but really the right tackle for Arkansas, Bobby Williams, made the stop because Smith ran into his own offensive lineman, and that's what slowed the play down and didn't enable him to get upfield.
Tony Dodson will try a 40-yarder. He's 1 for 2 today. First 2 kicks from the other side of the field. Now he's working from the other hash mark, and he's right on target from that side. 40-yard field goal for Dodson.
Really a key thing in that drive from a defensive standpoint for Alabama. Arkansas was moving against that second defensive line. They hit some passes, they ran the football a little bit, and at a key point, Ellis Johnson put that starting front four back in the ball game, and they stopped him right there and forced him to settle for a field goal. This is a very impressive defensive front four for Alabama.
Six-play drive for Arkansas, 45 yards, resulted in the 40-yard field goal by Dodson here at Bryant-Denny Stadium, named for the legendary coach Bear Bryant, who was here for 25 years as head coach and won 6 national titles. And also named for Dr. George Hutchinson Denny, who was president of the University of Alabama from 1912 to 1937.
I was fortunate enough to be on the same field with Coach Bryant twice during my career at Penn State, both losses for us. And then I had to come here and do my first game here and had to sit and watch how bad I played my junior year against Alabama.
Yeah, they have the highlight of that game, the highlight film. I think they showed every play of that game before the game on the big screen scoreboard here today.
One of the great wins in Alabama's history when they came up to State College and beat us in 1981.
Freddie Millens waiting for the kickoff. One columnist locally wrote yesterday, turmoil lately in this program, but really there's been turmoil in the Alabama program ever since Bear Bryant's retirement and death shortly thereafter. Freddie Millens downs another bomb of a kickoff from Dodson in the back of the end zone. Time now for our Aflac trivia question, and I think this is kind of an easy one. Who were the two coaches in the 1962 Sugar Bowl when Alabama played Arkansas?
We're not allowed to answer.
No, we're not. I mean, that's a layup. We're just trying to build the confidence of the viewers with a long season still to go, make it a little tougher as we go.
Throw a little carrot out there.
On 1st and 10 from the 20, Alexander showing again his nifty cutting ability. Looked like he'd be stopped at the line. He turned it into a 4-yard gain before Kurt Davis made the tackle. Well, we mentioned the shadow of Bear Bryant. The coaches since, Ray Perkins, Bill Curry, very impressive winning percentages. Gene Stallings did win a national title. And now Mike DuBose with a record of 13-13 with the link to Coach Bryant, having played linebacker for Bear.
Even more change from the athletic director standpoint than even the coaches. So a lot of change since the passing of Coach Bryant.
Alexander gets nothing. Perhaps even a loss of a yard. I think Joshua Lancaster made the tackle.
I think it's really important for Andrew Zhao right now, Shaun, to be smart with the football in this possession. On this 3rd down play, they've got back in control of the game. They've overcome their turnovers. They're leading here with under 3 minutes and a half. He can't get careless with the football right now and give Arkansas a chance to go in at the halftime with the lead.
3 timeouts remaining for Alabama, just 1 for Arkansas. 2:45 left in the first half. Zhao throws short of a first down. Millens, nice tackle by Antrea Moss to stop Millens short of the first down by about a yard, and Alabama will be forced to punt. Antrea Moss, the senior from Lexa, Arkansas. That's his middle name. His first name is Duran. For a couple of years he was known as Duran. Within the football program they still call him Duran. They call him D. Moss on the practice field. The coach just told us the other day, if he keeps playing well, we'll call him whatever he wants.
Yeah, I thought Antrea was his campus name. Duran was his football name. Antrea was his campus name.
Patrick Morgan punts. Harold Harris returns from the 35 and gets only to the 36. Gerald Dixon, the true freshman, reserve defensive back, with a nice play on punt coverage after a 40-yard punt by Morgan. Monday on CBS. If you think football is dangerous, imagine being the only man in a house full of women. Don't miss the new hit comedy Ladies Man. Monday right after the King of Queens here on CBS. One-point lead for Alabama. A minute 49 left in the first half. One timeout for Arkansas as the Hogs begin at their own 36. 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers. Chakuma the lone back. Stern the kick. He's under pressure and throws a duck out of bounds to his sideline. Canary Knight was in hot pursuit. former linebacker, moved to a defensive end position this year by Bama.
Trying to set up the screen, I think, that time. It wasn't there, and Stoerner did the smart thing by throwing it away. But I'll tell you what, he gets hit on that play, but even making that throw probably put some duress on the shoulder. Had to throw that thing a long way. He tried to throw one away earlier, didn't get it off the field. It was intercepted. That time he made sure it was off the field, but that can't feel good for him to make that throw under duress.
Now 3 wide receivers, Williams, Smith, and Lucas. Out of the gun, Stoerner on 2nd and 10, dumps it off short for Chikuma. Bounces off a couple of tacklers, and is short of a first down at the 43. So the minute 33 and the clock running remaining in the first half.
Arkansas with only 1 timeout left, so they're going to try to get a first down here on this 3rd down play. Normally in a 2-minute situation, Shaun, that first down is critical. You want to get that first down and then decide if you want to try to get in scoring range or not. But the first down is what you have to get first.
3rd down along 3. Stoerner after the fake, deflected pass, incomplete. Intended over the middle for Michael Williams, the middle linebacker Marvin Constant. Got his fingertips on the ball, and now it'll be Arkansas to punt.
Good push on the inside again by Kenny Smith and Cornelius Griffin on the play action. You can see Kenny Smith pushed his man right back into the lap of Clint Stoerner. And then Constant gets his hand on the football.
Big rush. Richie Butler got the punt off, and a very high punt. Fair catch made by Millens. The Alabama people thinking that he didn't have his 2-yard radius with which to work. And it was very close. 33 yards on the punt by Butler with very good hang time.
Take a look at this again. Does Freddie Millens have enough room to make the fair catch? I think so.
Yep.
Good call by the official. Or good no call, I should say.
Likely that Alabama will play it conservatively, you would think, on their own 24 with 1 timeout left. 51 seconds left. In 51 seconds, the AXA halftime report with Tim Brando and Spencer Tillman. Lots of scores and highlights. Tied on the ground with Alexander. He's on the ground in the arms of Randy Garner. The fans boo, but they'd boo louder if they threw an interception, and everybody say, how could DuBose do that with only 1 timeout and 51 seconds left?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with this. Go into halftime. They'll run this one again here on 2nd down.
Now, did not hand it to Alexander. He goes down. The boos are a little bit louder. Well, you've had enough time to answer the Aflac trivia question. The 2 coaches in the '62 Sugar Bowl. Of course, Frank Broyles and Bear Bryant.
2 of the great ones.
Coach Broyles, now the athletic director, at age 74, can still shoot better than his age in golf.
Andrew Zout took a pretty good shot on that last play. It's a good thing Alabama gets to go to the locker room.
Here's Michelle Tafoya.
All right, with Coach Houston Nutt. Coach, your defense forced 4 turnovers, but just 13 points. What's slowing up your offense right now?
That's the thing. We got to help our defense. Our defense has played great. Got us some turnovers. We got to put some points on the board. I feel like our guys will. We'll come back second half and get the ball. It's real important. The first 3 to 5 minutes in the 3rd quarter, we move the ball.
How is Clint Stoerner? Will you think about replacing him?
He's a little rusty. We'll probably look at putting Robbie in there, but he's just got the experience, though.
All right, Coach. Thanks.
Thank you.
Back to you, Shaun.
Score at halftime is Alabama 14, Arkansas 13. Now let's go to Tim Brando in New York.
Coming up on the AXA halftime report, Spencer Tillman and I will have all of today's scores and highlights, including how number 2 Penn State fared in their Big Ten opener. After this message and a word from your local station.
For king-size comedy, the address is CBS.
I just want to celebrate.
It's the final days of the Ford authorized clearance. Get $1,000 cash back on '99 Ranger, or choose 0 down financing plus $500 cash back. 2 great ways to save on one top truck. Or celebrate low 3.9 financing on F-Series, the Super Cab with 4 doors standard. Get $1,000 or 0.9 plus $500 on Ranger and 3.9 on F-Series at your local Ford dealer during the final days of the Ford authorized clearance.
The natural gas Advantage home means comfort on the coldest day, unlike electric.
Just another natural gas Advantage.
You see, the electric heat pump can only heat air to your skin temperature. Heat pump air feels cool, is cool. Natural gas home heat warms the air above skin temperature. Feels warm, is warm.
That's a real advantage.
Saves on utility bills, adds resale value. Chattanooga Gas.
In the trucking industry, wisdom comes with age. And in the last 25 years, Ron Epps International Isuzu has learned a thing or two about meeting customer needs. Our new truck sales department can provide the perfect truck for your business. On a budget, check out our used truck center in Resaca. Need parts? Ron Epps stocks the parts you need most. And don't forget service. Trained technicians work morning till night to get your equipment back on the road. Ron Epps International Isuzu, the answer to all your trucking questions.
Baby, I met someone new. She's hot and spicy and makes my mouth water.
So where's little Miss Hot to Trot?
Gotcha. It's Crystal's new spicy chick. It's a crispy, real chicken breast filet with just the right amount of spice.
Spicy.
Served in a hot steamed bun for just 79 cents.
Good thing they're open all night, because that bench is going to be your bed.
Fresh, hot, small, square.
News 12 Sally Scholze, weeknights at 6 and 11.
The AXA Halftime Report is sponsored by AXA Advisors.
Hello, everyone. I'm Tim Brando, and welcome to the AXA Halftime Report with the score in Tuscaloosa. Alabama leading Arkansas 14-13. I'm joined by Spencer Tillman, and if you look at all the turnovers Arkansas got in the first quarter, this is good news for Alabama. They didn't take advantage of those chances.
It's real good news. And one of the things that Coach Nutt, when I talked to him earlier this week, said he wanted to accomplish was somehow kind of put pressure on their quarterback, Andrew Zhao. They've done that so far, forced him to make some poor decisions, but he has since recovered, and boy, did he ever atone. We'll take a look at that shortly.
All right, let's get you caught up now on some of today's other scores and highlights. In the game others are watching on CBS, Syracuse has just scored again to take a 17-7 lead over West Virginia. There's a recurring problem, however, at Syracuse for quarterback Troy Nunes. Remember, he got a safety last week when he got intentional grounding called on him. That happens again here. Mountaineers pull out to a 2-0 lead, but he does atone off the option package.
You got to like that option play. It works. I'm telling you, when you get people back on their defensive heels, you've got problems. The option game works to perfection.
And the touchdown moments ago, it's Tad Woodcock on the touchdown reception again from Nunes. Nice work here to get open. And that pulls Syracuse out to a 10-point advantage, 17-7. This is the third game of a four-game Syracuse homestand. They desperately need it after the loss last week to Michigan. Well, Florida State and North Carolina, 28-3. Seminoles getting it done. FSU leads this series 9-1, and they're rolling in this one. Michigan and Wisconsin, the Badgers with Barry Alvarez upstairs because of the bum knee. Too much jogging will do that to you. Michigan getting it done. They're jogging their way through in the second quarter with only 11 seconds left. Southern Miss and Texas A&M. Golden Eagles played Nebraska tough. They're doing the same to Texas A&M today. A&M has won 14 straight games. Memphis and Tennessee. The last time these two teams played, Peyton Manning was a junior coming off a Florida loss, and Memphis beat them at the Liberty Bowl. Well, today, Philip Fulmer hoping for some divine guidance. Long distance information. Give me Knoxville, Tennessee. And Eric Parker goes the distance, 69 yards for the score. Volunteers take the early lead as they try to rebound from the loss at Florida. It's 7-3 in the second. Memphis has played a number of tough teams well out of the SEC this year. Georgia, maybe you'll look ahead to LSU next week, playing Central Florida this week. Central Florida had lost to some toughies, including Georgia Tech big. But Quincy Carter getting it done this year. And obviously, Jim Donna needs Michael Greer to play well. That one from 5 yards out. Then Paige Sessoms brings the Golden Knights to within one off Georgia as he catches Vic Penn's pass. The extra point, no good. Javier Barlegui does not get the extra point, hits the upright. By Mike Clear 16. People talk about system. Dante Culpepper, a part of that system. I think Georgia found out today, Spence.
Yeah, Georgia got a wake-up call. Jim Donna, you better listen. I'll tell you what, that offensive down there is impressive. You've got to come in prepared to deal with that kind of thing. Emotionally, you're a great motivator. You always get your guys up to play from week to week. Don't let them miss another one.
Yeah, and LSU has a bye week, remember, and Jerry DiNardo's chomping at the bit to play another game after that debacle last week against Auburn. Michigan State and Illinois in the Big Ten. Spartans on a roll, 14-3. Michigan State has won the last 4 meetings between those two. All the Lonesome Boys from Laramie are up 7-0 on Air Force. Jay Stoner with a touchdown pass for Wyoming. Ole Miss and Auburn, 24-17. Tommy Tuberville Bowl. Remember, he left Ole Miss, his first game against his old team. And watch this. It's Romero Miller in overtime hitting Corey Peterson to give them the 7-point lead. And Jeff Klein, who came in, the redshirt freshman, forced into duty because Gabe Gross quit the team after Ben Lear threw for over 300 yards last week against LSU. They probably could have used number 22 today in an Auburn uniform. The final, 24-17, as Ole Miss gets the win for David Cutcliffe, easily his most important road victory in the SEC. Coming up, we'll continue our look at the rest of today's action when the AXA halftime report continues. Antonio Carter says, Andrew Zhao, find me, and he looks off one receiver and finds Carter for the touchdown. That's SEC football, not power, but with finesse.
Hi, I'm Bob Vila. You know, your home is your sanctuary, the one place you and your children should feel safe. But there can be dangers, too, and some of them are not so obvious. Improperly wired outlets that can electrocute, water coolers that can burn, household cleaners that can kill, lead paint that can poison. To find out about them, call HUD.
For a free brochure on HUD's healthy homes and FHA loans, just call. HUD and FHA are on your side.
Our family vacation started at Pep Boys when we met Larry.
Handsome guy.
Oh, yeah. Told us we could save on every size tire in stock. These were 4 for 99 bucks.
You really did see some sights.
And the 70,000-mile tires were 4 for 169.
Wow. So what was the highlight?
Probably the 80,000-mile Futura SEs. Motor Trend says they deliver impressive acceleration and performance. All sizes 4 for 199.
I know where I'm taking the kids this year.
Pep Boys. Cars like us.
People love us.
I'm serving a party of 20 at 7 o'clock, whether this pain goes away or not. So I took something stronger, something faster. I took Advil liquid gels. See, they're stronger and faster on tough pain than extra-strength Tylenol, and, well, it just makes sense that they are. Liquid gels are the only pain reliever with liquid inside. Nobody else has that. Nobody. So when you want something that's faster on tough pain than Tylenol, take Advil liquid gels. Pain relief that's stronger and faster.
Ask your doctor about Niagara.
There's this place in the neighborhood where they have these outrageous you pick 2 platters, and basically you pick 2 out of 3 entrees. It's 2 on 1 plate. Be it the Cajun steak with all those sizzling spices, or a pile of succulent roasted garlic shrimp, or barbecue chicken with that sauce that sticks to your lips and your mind like some really interesting dream. It was too good to end, but it will, just like the you pick 2 platters. 2 entrees, 1 plate, only at Applebee's.
School pride and accomplishment are a way of life at the University of Arkansas. Here, I am at my best.
At the University of Arkansas, the world is mine to explore. I am an explorer.
At the University of Arkansas, I have options to become anything I want to become. It's up to me to decide.
The senior walk of graduates at the University of Arkansas is my inspiration. My name will be etched in history.
At the University of Arkansas, tradition is the cornerstone of the future. I am that future.
The AXA Halftime Report is sponsored by AXA Advisors.
Just a couple of guys sitting around having fun. Welcome back to the AXA Halftime Report. I'm Tim Brando, along with Spencer Tillman, and let's get right to the college football scoreboard. Plenty for us to talk about today, including the Nittany Lions and Happy Valley. Really struggled early with Indiana, but, you know, you got a couple of options if your quarterback's at Penn State.
That's right. Kevin Thompson can throw deep, but when Rashard Casey gets in the game, he can do this. Watch this guy improvise. Boy, does he have the moves or what. It fits for defense because you're winded after the guy makes plays like this. Tim, he is on fire. He's off to the races here.
Reminds me of Spencer Tillman just going down in Oklahoma back in the 80s. 45-24, Penn State, by the way, the highest rated of the 6 Big Ten teams in the top 25. Well, at the old horseshoe, the banks of the old Intenji, the Buckeyes struggled against Cincinnati. It was tied 17-all, as it was against Ohio U, 10-all last week. Steve Belisario says, enough of this nonsense. I'm calling my own number. That puts the Bucks up by 14. They go on to win it by a final score of 34-20. And that is a big one for the Buckeyes as they try to stay in the Big Ten race. Boilermakers 31-23 over Northwestern. A tough out, and Drew Brees makes a tough call at his one.
Part of what makes him smart, Drew sees something he doesn't like. He changes at the line of scrimmage, still didn't have his first option, goes back. The eye's the key here. Looked off the defender there, gets him wide open. That's Vinny Sutherland. He's off to the races, nothing but air and opportunity for that young man.
Now remember, Purdue travels to Michigan and Ohio State in the next 2 games, so this is a game that Joe Tiller really had to have. 31-23 the final. Well, Kansas State was down 28-7 today to the Cyclones. Dan McCarney's team was on the cusp of their biggest victory. But here Adam Helm takes it in. Big shoes for him to fill with Michael Bishop now in a New England Patriot uniform. Kansas State a much-needed win in the Big 12. 35-28. Running back Darren Davis, 152 yards, 2 touchdowns. Troy Davis's younger brother of Iowa State. North Carolina State, one of the really Jekyll and Hyde acts of college football. They play up to the competition, down to the level of competition. Today, Wake Forest gets it done. Morgan Kane makes it happen for the Demon Deacons, and Jim Caldwell comes away with a very big victory. 31-7, Wake getting it done in the ACC. There's a lot more football tomorrow with Week 3 of the NFL on CBS. It's regional coverage. Many of you will see Denver take on Tampa Bay. And it all begins at noon Eastern with the NFL Today. Jim Nantz, Craig James, Randy Cross, and Spencer's old coach Jerry Glanville will all have the latest NFL news. Plus, Marcus Allen visits with Pittsburgh quarterback Cordell Stewart. And Jerry looks at the tough Tampa Bay defense led by Warren Sapp. That's all coming up tomorrow at noon Eastern, the NFL Today. The AXA halftime report continues right after this.
From AXA Advisors.
AXA Advisors. Yes.
That's a new name.
For thousands of financial professionals like me
and me.
We help people take the long view, achieve goals like college tuition,
a secure retirement,
a better life.
It's all based
on a relationship, a long-term relationship, and soon, very soon,
we can start working
together,
building your future.
AXA Advisors, building futures.
Introducing new Smooth Mint Scope. It keeps your breath feeling clean and fresh longer. And it kills bad breath germs. Because love is all about waiting for the right time. So be ready with new Smooth Mint Scope. Feel the tingle longer.
In our family, men lose their hair early.
Thank you.
By the time we hit 30, we don't have to invest much in combs. So I started using Rogaine when I was like 28 at the first sign of fallout. Before I looked like I needed it, because I knew I would. So here I am. I've been using Rogaine for about 2 years now, right at the source of the problem, and I don't see any difference. And that's the idea. You keep the hair you have. Look, I love my dad. I'm just not in a rush to look like him. Simple, safe, smart. Rogaine. It's stronger than heredity. They call me Oaf Dog from Sandusky, Ohio. Dog pound since '87. Football fanatic since birth. If you're a football fan like me, you gotta have DirecTV. I bought my DirecTV at Walmart. Walmart's got the best prices. I have 3 dishes total. This is the one on my house. I got another one on top of my motorhome. I get football beamed right from the football gods, right through my dish and right into my veins. Football is life. With DirecTV, it's like you're there. You gotta have DirecTV. You gotta get to Walmart. I love football!
A student gains valuable experience from a world-class manufacturer. An American entrepreneur has phenomenal success in the Asian import market. A proud father brings his son to a place that changed his life. The University of Alabama, touching lives and making a difference around the world and right next door.
The Broncos battle back against the Buccaneers. Or Neil O'Donnell leads the Titans against the Jaguars' dominating defense. The NFL on CBS, the way it should be.
It's halftime in Tuscaloosa, and Alabama has a 1-point lead over Arkansas, 14-13. Monday on CBS. Forget De La Hoya and Trinidad. The biggest fight of the season is between Raymond and his wife, Deborah. And you won't believe what they're battling over. Check it out on an all-new Everybody Loves Raymond Monday right here on CBS, America's most watched network. Alabama fell behind early, but this touchdown pass from Andrew Zhao, Antonio Carter, gave the Tide the lead. The second half kickoff in a moment.
I'm from AXA Advisors.
AXA Advisors.
Yes.
That's a new name.
For thousands of financial professionals, like me.
And me.
We help people take the long view, achieve goals like college tuition,
A secure retirement.
a better life,
It's all based
on a relationship.
A long-term relationship.
And soon, very soon,
We can start working.
together.
Building your future.
AXA Advisors, building futures.
We argue all the time as to who has the better lawn.
They're all envious of my Scott lawn, definitely.
Scott's does it for all three of us.
Now, during the summer, my grass takes a beating.
A heavy sun, droughts.
What the grass needs is Turf Builder.
About September, I put on a turf builder.
It pumps it up, it rejuvenates it.
Gives it that extra punch for the roots.
You gotta feed it.
That's beautiful lawn. Look at that.
Look at it, thick.
Nice and green.
It's as thick, it's as plush.
Fall is the best time of year to put down Scott's Turf Builder.
Imagine feeling this kind of fitness in your skin. Introducing Noxema Skin Fitness Face Wash. With stimulating microbeads, it actively draws out impurities so your skin feels cleansed, toned, alive. This is new Noxema Skin Fitness Face Wash. Feel fitness within every inch of your skin.
You want to see some action?
Definitely.
Rolling Stone says, when it comes to rousing action, whip smart laughs and moral uplift that doesn't pump sunshine up your back. Three Kings rules. Best movie of the year talk has already begun.
All right.
George Clooney, Mark Wahlberg, Ice Cube. Three Kings.
We three kings be stealing the gold.
Rated R. Starts Friday, October 1st.
Used to be. If I want something done right, I called me. It worked. Until I tried to quit smoking. I needed more than me. I got Nicorette. Nicorette helped me two ways. I used it on a regular schedule to help prevent my cravings, and for unexpected cravings, I was ready with an extra piece. I used to be a slave to cigarettes. Nicorette helped me hang on, helped me win. Now that I'm nicotine-free, I gotta tell you, it feels good to win.
Now Nicorette is available in mint. What a refreshing choice. You can do it. Nicorette can help.
We've heard your complaints about changing your oil filter, trying to grip that slippery filter. That's why Fram, America's #1 filter, now has Sure Grip, a rough textured top for easy gripping and installing.
It makes changing your oil filter a lot easier.
This week on The Late Show, Dave welcomes Kevin Spacey, Mia Farrow, Kelsey Grammer, Linda Ronstadt, Nathan Lane, and the Eurythmics. Monday, don't miss Kevin Pollak.
Third quarter about to begin. Alabama in possession of a 1-point lead. A moment ago, Michelle Tafoya spoke with Mike Dubose.
Coach, 4 first-half turnovers, and yet you still have a 1-point lead. What specifically would you like to see go differently in the second half?
First of all, we got to protect the football, and then we got to make some plays offensively when they present themselves. Got to continue to play defensively. We got to set the tempo the first 5 minutes here of the third quarter. This first 5 minutes is going to be important.
Coach, good luck. Thanks.
Thank you.
And the first minutes of the third quarter will begin with Arkansas in possession of the football. Hubert Loudermilk waiting for the kickoff from Lane Bearden. Third quarter about to begin. Alabama in possession of a 1-point lead. A moment ago, Michelle Tafoya spoke with Mike Dubose.
Coach, 4 first-half turnovers, and yet you still have a 1-point lead. What specifically would you like to see go differently in the second half?
First of all, we got to protect the football, and then we got to make some plays offensively when they present themselves. Got to continue to play defensively. We got to set the tempo the first 5 minutes here of the third quarter. This first 5 minutes is going to be important.
Coach, good luck. Thanks.
Thank you.
And the first minutes of the third quarter will begin with Arkansas in possession of the football. Hubert Loudermilk waiting for the kickoff from Lane Bearden. second half is underway. Still virtually no breeze to talk about in the stadium. Loudermilk about 4 yards deep will take a knee. Sean McDonough with Todd Blackledge. We welcome you back to Tuscaloosa. Last year up at Arkansas, it was a rout for the Razorbacks. They won 42-6, but a much different story this time around. Just 99 yards of offense in the first half for the Hawks.
Yeah, and only 27 yards rushing. That front four of Alabama that Arkansas was afraid was going to cause some problems, they have caused problems, particularly the tackles Griffith and Smith. They've had a hard time blocking them. Anthony Lucas also only 1 catch in that first half for 19 yards.
On the 20. Clint Stoerner struggled in the first half. We heard Coach Nutt tell Michelle heading into halftime that he is considering a change in quarterback if it continues this way. Michael Williams, the intended target of that pass that fell incomplete. We look at the halftime statistics. Only 4 first downs for Arkansas, and the 99 yards of offense we spoke of. They really did not capitalize in a major way on the 4 Alabama turnovers.
Great job by Ellis Johnson's defense in that first half to play on the short field for quite a bit of the time in that second half and only hold Arkansas to 13 points.
On 2nd and 10, another play action fake. Stoerner with a better throw that time, and Lucas has a first down out of the 33-yard line. Clint Stoerner will be remembered by some fans around the country for the fumble last year against Tennessee when Arkansas was 8-0 and seemed to have 9-0 in its grasp, but the late fumble led to a Tennessee touchdown and a Vols victory. But Houston Nutt said he was so proud of his team after that, the way they handled that adversity, nobody finger pointing, everybody rising in support of Stoerner. Brandon Burlsworth, the offensive guard who died tragically this offseason in a car crash, said I stepped on his foot. Anthony Lucas said I dropped the pass earlier I should have caught. Lucas thought there should have been a flag on this play as he was battling Reggie Miles for the long ball.
Really well played by Reggie Miles. It was the pump fake off the quick 3-step drop, the hitch and go, and Miles was not fooled at all by it. Did a nice job of staying with Anthony Lucas, a bigger receiver. Ellis Johnson told us Miles really is probably going to be a better safety ultimately than he is a cornerback. He's a big play guy. They want to get him moved over to safety. They've got a freshman, Gerald Dixon, that they think will ultimately be their starting corner, but he's not ready to play yet as a young freshman.
Ellis Johnson said Miles is our best safety, but he's also our best corner. So he has to play there right now until Dixon can develop. Pass incomplete. Stoerner knocked to the turf again. He was looking for Hubert Loudermilk. And it'll be 3rd down and 10.
Clint Stoerner definitely knows who Kenny Smith is, number 88, and who 97 Cornelius Griffin are. See Kenny Smith easing up a little bit at the end of that play, a gentlemanly thing to do for a defensive tackle.
It was almost late.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why he held up. And undoubtedly, anytime these Alabama players get a chance, they've been putting a hit on Stoerner. They know he has the banged up shoulder and didn't practice much at all this week. He's in trouble and buried for a sack. The first sack for Alabama comes from Reggie Grimes.
One of the first times that they've really come after him. Here's Grimes playing the left end position. They brought a lot of pressure on this time. They rushed 6 guys. They've been just rushing 4, but that time it was man-on-man blocking, and Reggie Grimes did a nice job coming against their best lineman.
High snap. Richie Butler handled it and got off a good punt. Freddie Millen stayed on his feet. Finally, he's shirt tackled at the 34-yard line. Quite a 7-yard return by Millens after a 46-yard punt. Alabama has the ball and a 1-point lead after this.
I won't assume all index fund investing is the same.
It's not. Consider the Fidelity 4-in-1 Index Fund. It invests in a combination of 4 stock and bond index funds, providing greater diversification than investing in a single index fund.
Look to the innovative 4-in-1 Index Fund and other low-cost Fidelity Index funds to help you invest responsibly. To get a fact kit, call 1-800-FIDELITY or visit fidelity.com.
Come on.
It's not that easy. It's not that easy.
Take that.
Encouragement.
Take
Right
that.
Don't let it beat you, KG.
Yeah. Come on, Kevin. Watch it. Brandy's in the house.
What? What's up with the shirt? Come on, man.
At last, a mini SUV with enough power to take you anywhere you want to go. And enough space and comfort to make the journey enjoyable. Introducing the all-new V6 Grand Vitara from Suzuki.
Excuse me. Is that really a Suzuki? It's very nice.
Countless mornings at the lake. This race could be our big break. Just love that mountain grown brew. Now I leave my crew. In rhythm we row as one, racing towards the rising sun. The best part of waking up, is Folgers in your cup.
Another tight game in Tuscaloosa between Arkansas and Alabama. The last two times the Hogs have come here, they've emerged with 1-point victories in 95 and 97. Quick pass to Antonio Carter. He's chopped out of bounds at the 43-yard line. Denoy Kennedy made the tackle. That's considered a running play. It was deemed a lateral by the official stats people. Last time Arkansas was here, 1997. Alabama had a 16-10 lead. Clint Stoerner at quarterback. In the waning moments, he threw a 29-yard pass to a wide-open Anthony Eubanks. And the Razorbacks won 17-16. 1995, the Hogs won 20-19. Alexander, a rare run to the right. Most of his efforts today have been to the left or up the middle. And J.J. Jones made the tackle, but it's a first down for the Tide at midfield.
Well, Shaun, this was designed to go to the left. It was a great cutback by Shaun Alexander and a good block by his freshman right tackle, Dante Ellington, to clear that backside cutback. Again, all great backs have great vision. They can see a little bit beyond the play, and that time Alexander, a nice job spotting the cutback lane to his right.
He came into today's game having scored 9 of their 12 touchdowns for the season. He hasn't scored today. He has another good gain on first down of about 7. Mentioned what an impressive young man he is, and yesterday when we visited with him, he had his brother Duran with him, who just graduated from Notre Dame in the spring of 1998. Duran hoping to watch Shaun have another 100-yard rushing game today. He's 3 for 3 so far this season. Duran himself an impressive young man. Works for a soup company as a territory manager up in Ohio. Played quint drums in the marching band at Notre Dame. On second and short, it appears the first down was picked up. Randy Garner made the tackle on Alexander, but they do move the chains with another first down at the 39-yard line. Duran Alexander had, what, 5 or 6 of his friends with him from Notre Dame, all Notre Dame graduates. I believe 2 of them were in medical school. Another one was in dental school. One was an engineer.
Yeah, if Shaun Alexander really does want to get into politics, I'd make sure all those guys were somehow involved in the process. Duran being my campaign manager, because he was an impressive kid, too.
There's another 100-yard game now for Shaun, 102 yards, and he adds to the total on this run. A short gain of 3 to the 36. Alexander considered coming out into the NFL draft after last season. They said the most compelling reason to stay at Alabama was, I love the school. The NFL will still be there next year.
We talked about the defensive line for Alabama and how they've controlled the game up front. The Alabama offensive line, particularly in this series, really controlling the action up front. You spread out the defense by formation. You put favorable numbers inside the box where you can run, and then you use your better offensive line. That's what Alabama's doing.
Alexander tripped up immediately. Good penetration into the backfield that time by DJ Cooper, number 99. He drove his man right into the backfield and tripped up Alexander. So it'll be 3rd down and about 8.
Paul Hogan, the center in there, is the guy who got driven back. Hogan is just back off of a calf injury, missed the last couple ball games, and so he's got to be a little rusty himself. Was healthy all week in practice, but it's a different speed, different tempo when you get into a game.
Paul's a veteran starter today, making his 24th career start, a junior from Valdosta, Georgia. Zhao, middle screen. Millens caught it in traffic. Flag thrown in the secondary. Millens into the secondary. Millens inside the 10 and down to the 7-yard line. There was a flag thrown in the secondary just after Millens made the catch. If it stands, it's a gain of 29.
I think it may be pass interference. Yeah, they're going to call a pick on Alabama. The inside screen, it can't be called on an offensive lineman as long as the play is thrown downfield. It had to be called on a wide receiver. Yeah, right there, Jason McCadley is the guy that they got.
Well, apparently they changed the call.
Huh. I think because the pass was thrown behind the line of scrimmage, you're allowed to block downfield, and so therefore they waive off the penalty. If that would have been across the line of scrimmage, it's an illegal block downfield. That's why that middle screen or wide receiver screen is so effective in college football, because if the ball is thrown behind the line of scrimmage, linemen can get downfield and block. You can't do that in pro football, but in college football you can.
Well, that's a big turn of events. The play stands. 1st and goal from the 7. Alexander bouncing off tacklers. He really is an impressive combination of power and elusiveness and speed. There is a flag down late, thrown right near where Alexander was tackled.
Face mask, inadvertent, against the defense, 5-yard penalty, be half the distance, 1st down, repeat, 1st down.
Well, let's go back to the middle screen.
You take a look, here's the ball, the line of scrimmage is the 36. Millens catches it behind the line of scrimmage clearly, so a good job by the officials picking up the flag.
1st and goal. McClintock, touchdown. Chris Kemp tries the extra point. It is good. And Alabama has its largest lead of the afternoon. 8 points on the first touchdown run of the season for Dustin McClintock. 21-13 Alabama.
Why do I have Aflac insurance on top of my regular health insurance? Because he has his mother's eyes. Because I still have to teach him to whistle. And because Aflac helps cover what other insurance doesn't. If I'm injured, Aflac even provides cash to help pay bills. So why do I have Aflac? Did I mention he has his mother's eyes? Aflac supplemental insurance. Without it, no insurance is complete.
There's this place in the neighborhood where they have these outrageous you pick 2 platters. And basically, you pick 2 out of 3 entrees. It's 2 on 1 plate. You get the Cajun steak with all those sizzling spices, or a pile of succulent roasted garlic shrimp, or barbecue chicken with that sauce that sticks to your lips and your mind like some really interesting dream. It was too good to end, but it will. Just like the you pick 2 platters. 2 entrees, 1 plate. Only at Applebee's.
There's a line of benchtop and stationary tools out there from Rigid, a name professionals have trusted since 1923. Built to last, each one carries a lifetime warranty. Engineered for the serious woodworker to be the finest tools available. But there's one thing you should know. You're probably going to want a bigger garage. Rigid Tools, now at the Home Depot.
The Home Depot College Football on CBS is sponsored by Suzuki, SAP, Aflac, and by the Home Depot.
On an absolutely gorgeous early fall afternoon in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, the home-standing Crimson Tide with an 8-point lead over Arkansas. Sean McDonough with Todd Blackledge and Michelle Tafoya, delighted to have you with us. The kickoff, Lane Bearden comes down to Hubert Loudermilk. He gets leveled by Shaun Alexander at the 20-yard line. Reserve defensive back put a big pop on Loudermilk after a 19-yard return.
Alabama has always been known historically for very strong, solid special teams. They've got a lot of young players, aggressive players. Shaun Alexander, a sophomore out of Montvale, Alabama, down there on special teams on the kick cover unit.
Arkansas has had a terrible day on offense, obviously hampered by the shoulder injury. The quarterback, Clint Stoerner, down to 2 on the play clock and bobbled the snap. Throws quickly to Michael Williams, but he gets very little. Reggie Miles danced him to the sideline. Gain of 2 or 3. Well, you know that Clint Stoerner had many chats this week with his girlfriend Angie. They've been dating for a long time, and she comes on the road trips as well because she's a cheerleader for the Razorbacks. There's Angie. Been dating for a couple of years now. She was the homecoming queen at Arkansas 2 years ago. A rush well picked up. Stoerner throws a wobbly pass. Great catch by Smith. That's what we were talking about. The strength for Arkansas. Angie sure is happy. And a problem for Alabama. The size of the wide receivers and their ability in the air against these smaller cornerbacks. This time, Kelf Bailey.
Kelf Bailey, 5'10". That's what he's listed as. And we talked about how Clint Stoerner throws that ball up high and lets those big receivers go and get the football. And 9 times out of 10, the offensive player has the advantage there because he's watching the ball. He knows how to time his jump and go up and catch it at the height of his jump. You just give the receiver a chance in a situation like that.
10 for 23 now, Stoerner. 125 yards. He wings it to the far sideline. That was one of his tighter spirals, but Lucas had double coverage. 2nd and 10. Marcus Spencer and Milo Lewis were stride for stride with Anthony Lucas.
We saw this earlier. Arkansas, Alabama's trying to give their first-team defensive line a little break. They put the backups in, and Arkansas hits a couple plays. They bring the first-teamers back in. Same thing has just happened again. Arkansas hit a couple plays against Ellis Johnson's defense. Back in with that starting front 4.
Ellis Johnson, the defensive coordinator, very honest. We chatted with him yesterday. He says he thinks the Alabama players are starting to be affected by the off-the-field distractions. Nothing doing on the run for Chikuma on 2nd and 10. Ellis Johnson said they're human beings. They're out on campus. They're constantly asked the questions by their classmates, by the media. What do you think about the athletic director being fired? Do you think the coach is going to be next? And after a while, they're going to start to think about those things.
That's why the best possible place to have those guys right now is where they're at, on the football field. You know, and they can put all that stuff behind them for these 3.5 hours and focus on what they know best, and that's the game of football.
And that's what the coaches have been preaching. Just concentrate on what you can control, and that's what happens on the football field. Stoerner on 3rd down and long. They'll have to do some running. And Marvin Caston couldn't get to the first down marker. He's about 3 yards short. Reggie Miles was in pursuit. I think Shaun Alexander said it best when we chatted with him yesterday about the coaching situation here at Alabama. He said, we win a lot of games. All of a sudden, people forget about this whole coaching mess. They're going to have to win a lot, it seems.
Well, and he's a senior, I mean, and he's on his way out. The guys that really are the most vulnerable are these young guys. They have so many freshmen playing. They're wondering, you know, who's going to be their coach for their career. So it has a little more impact on the younger guys.
Long field goal try of 50 yards now by Dotson. Virtually no breeze. This would be a career long. His career long right now is 44 yards. That one's long enough, but no good. He hooked it again, this time just a little bit wide right. So Alabama, midway through the 3rd quarter, goes back on offense, leading by 8.
There is a place on the internet, a virtual city built by SAP out of seamless information. 10,000 companies, every industry, millions of people. Your business linked to theirs in one easy step. Shrink your work, expand your ideas. You've got a business, we've got a city. MySAP.com. Welcome to the City of E.
Outside, its aggressive V6 engine gives you the power to run wild. Inside, it's as quiet as the open plains. Motor Week's best small SUV of the year, the V6 Grand Vitara. From Suzuki.
That's a Suzuki!
I hope she got my good side. And now a look at this week's Suzuki Heisman Watch Update.
Along with Spencer Tillman in New York, I'm Tim Brando. You know, he's the breeze in the Boilermakers sales. He's produced Drew Brees.
I like him at 6'1", 220 pounds. He's smart. We know that about him, Tim. This guy does everything. I like him when he's in the red zone, the most difficult place to score on the field, makes quality decisions, change at the line of scrimmage. And then when he's backed up in his own territory, under duress, watch him show the poise in the pocket. And then he finally finds this guy wide open there for big play. That's how you make plays.
Yeah, and he better make more of them in the next couple of weeks against Michigan and Ohio State. For more information on the Suzuki Heisman Watch, log on to cbs.sportsline.com.
North Carolina.
Alabama leading 21-13 here in Tuscaloosa, where it has been a tumultuous several months for the University of Alabama, and it started after last season with the departure of 2 key players, including the team's #2 tackler, Travis Carroll, heading to Florida. Then Mike DuBose admitted to lying about sexual misconduct and had his contract and salary reduced. The season then began with several players serving suspensions, and on Tuesday, AD Bob Baccarat was removed from his post, and all week the headlines have focused on the future of Mike DuBose and hardly on this game. Sean and Todd?
It's obvious the players are focused. Right now it's Jermaine Petty who was focused on Shaun Alexander and drilled him in the backfield for a 2-yard loss.
Well, right now what Arkansas desperately needs is for this aggressive defense to come up with another big play, a turnover, because the offense having a lot of trouble moving the football. They're not going to be able to drive the long field on Alabama's defense. It does not appear. Houston Nutt needs this defense to create another turnover to get the football back and give the offense the short field.
4 wide receivers, 3 to the left of Andrew Zhao. Zhao with a great fake. Fooled the entire defense. They arrived late after Zhao picked up the first down with a run of 14 yards. Kenoy Kennedy knocked him out.
The key to running a bootleg, as we showed in the playbook, is fooling this guy, making him chase the run. Andrew Zhao does a nice job of hiding the football, and Petty has no idea the quarterback has the football. You've got to fool that man in order to be free on the outside. Jermaine Petty so concerned with getting to the ball carrier, he didn't play his responsibility on the backside.
And really a good play call one play after Petty came charging in on a similar run by Alexander up the middle. Alexander straight ahead again. Fumble! Picked up by Kenoy Kennedy. He's going to go in for a touchdown, Arkansas. There's that turnover you were talking about, Todd, that Arkansas really needed. A 40-yard return for a touchdown.
Not only the turnover, but the score even better, because now your offense doesn't have to do it. Your defense gets the turnover, and they get the score. And again, Shaun Alexander, a little careless with the football. It's stripped out of there. It looked like Jamel Harris stripped it out, and Kenoy Kennedy picked it up and scored. Mike DuBose has to keep his charges up, but that is the worst possible thing that could have happened to Alabama right there. Turn the ball over and let the defense score a touchdown.
Officially a 41-yard return of the fumble by Kennedy, and a timeout called by Alabama. Houston Nutt is going to go for the 2 that would tie the game if they're successful on the 2-point conversion. Kenoy Kennedy, one of the great safeties in the country, started the day needing 30 tackles to break Steve Atwater's Arkansas record for tackles among defensive backs. Of course, Atwater's gone on to a Pro Bowl career in the NFL with the Broncos and now with the Jets. The defensive coordinator, Keith Burns, told us he coached Sammy Knight at USC. Sammy Knight's now a starter in the secondary for the New Orleans Saints. And he said Sammy was a terrific player, but Kenoy Kennedy's better in college than Knight was. Always around the ball, a great tackler, and he's playing with an injured shoulder today.
But he is an outstanding player, really a great nose for the football, knows how to get in there, and also an explosive tackler. As we take a look now, watch right here. This is where the strip is going to occur. J.J. Jones, number 49, back from that hand injury. He's got a cast on his left hand. He reaches in with his right hand and knocks the ball out. And Kenoy Kennedy, we said he has a nose for the football. What a huge play for Arkansas at a desperate time for this football team.
5 turnovers by Alabama. Arkansas is 0 for 2 this season in 2-point tries. It was Alabama that called a timeout, leaving the Tide with 2. What do you look for on this play? We really haven't had any kind of a running game today.
I would say it would be some kind of a pick play where you're going to try to get the football to Lucas, your big receiver.
And that's what they run, and it is successful to Michael Jenkins, a reserve running back. They came quickly out of the huddle right to the line. Really no backs lined up behind the quarterback, Stoerner. The strength of the formation dramatically shifted to the right. That's the direction in which Stoerner went to Jenkins, the senior, for the 2-point conversion that ties the game at 21.
And the key to the play, Shaun, you mentioned, was how quickly they got set and ran the play. The 2 outside receivers came in, created the pick. Alabama was actually in pretty good position there. But a well-executed play, and Houston likes that one.
And Stoerner goes to congratulate Jenkins, who sat out last year as a transfer from the University of Wyoming. He's a bit player on this Arkansas team at Wyoming. In 1997, Jenkins rushed for 600 yards. Coaches told us Jenkins has great hands when we talked with them on Wednesday, and that was not an easy catch, certainly.
No, Milo Lewis was right there behind him. There was body contact. He had to catch the ball away from his body with his hands. It was really a nice catch that time by Jenkins.
18 of the 21 Arkansas points directly as a result of Alabama turnovers. Now Tony Dotson will kick off, the financial management major, moving it away to Freddie Millins. After touchback after touchback, this one is returnable from the 3. Santonio Beard, a true freshman. Tackled from behind at the 33-yard line by Rod Stinson. Sunday on 60 Minutes. According to the man he chose to write his biography, Ronald Reagan was both, quote, an old spaced out man and, quote, a great president. 60 Minutes tonight That's actually tomorrow. It says tonight on the card, but if it's Sunday on 60 Minutes, it would be hard for it to be tonight.
It would be hard.
That would be 60 Minutes tomorrow night, unless you're in some really far off time zone. Then it would be tonight. Zhao throws, caught by Millens. Out of bounds after a gain of 8 for Freddie, from a very athletic family. Is Freddie Millens. His dad, Freddie Sr., played baseball at Jackson State. The 2 sisters play basketball in the SEC. Cynthia at Mississippi State, and Anita at Ole Miss.
Yeah. I also heard he's got a couple younger brothers that are pretty good football players.
Yes.
So possibly recruitable guys down the road.
2nd and 2 upcoming for Alabama. Mistake-prone Tide. Now in a tie game. Alexander, the lone back. Again, that's a lateral. This will go into stats as a running play for Antonio Carter, the true freshman from Tallahassee. Brother Tim is a starting defensive back at Tulane, another athletic family, the Carters of Tallahassee, Florida.
When I was watching practice on Thursday, Charlie Stubbs was telling Andrew Zhao, anytime they don't bring enough cover guys out here, we're just going to automatic and quick throw it right now. If they're only going to bring 2 out there and try to keep more guys in the box, we're going to throw the football right now and try to make something happen on the outside. We have 3 receivers. They only put 2 defenders. Right now, throw the football.
1st and 10, just shy of midfield. Alabama at its own 49. Play clock at 2. Zhao, the pump fake. Throws it much too far for Millens. Nearest to it was Orlando Green, the cornerback. He's been splitting time at one corner with Harold Harris. Green was the starter, but lost that job when he wasn't eligible for spring practice due to academic difficulties.
The reason this fake didn't work was that Orlando Green didn't bite on the pump fake. He stayed his ground to the outside. He also knew he had help coming over from the free safety. And that was just well defended by Orlando Green.
Orlando participates on the outstanding Arkansas track and field team as a long jumper and a triple jumper. He was the state decathlon champion as a junior and senior in high school across at Arkansas. Flag thrown by the referee. Ron Gilbert in the offensive backfield.
Illegal substitution on Alabama. Antonio Carter tried to come onto the field very late and line up as a slot receiver. They didn't have enough players on the field. Here he comes right here. He knew he was supposed to be in the game. Another one of those young players. A true freshman out of Tallahassee.
He played all over in high school. Cornerback, running back, wide receiver, quarterback. And he was a kick returner. He's out of the game now. He reserves the right to come running on at any moment. 2nd and 14. Approaching 5 minutes left in the 3rd quarter in a tie game. Now with a lot of time again. Going deep again. And it is incomplete. Crowd wanted a flag. They thought there was bumping between Bowens and Antrea Moss. Bowens almost made a diving catch. He was bothered by a hamstring problem in the first half. There was some question if he'd play here in the 2nd, but he's out there.
Again, that triple stack formation. They try to slip Bowens out in the flat and then up the field, but Moss in great position using the sideline to help him defend. A good throw by Zhao, but Bowens just couldn't come down with it.
There was some contact there with the right arm of Moss.
Credit that
ball that Bowens could have caught.
Yeah, that offensive line again gave Zhao a lot of time to let that play develop.
On 3rd down and long, Zhao again with all day has a man wide open. Shamari Buchanan goes out of bounds. And he was almost out of bounds when he caught it. Didn't appear that he realized as he was backpedaling how close he was to that sideline. It is a huge completion of 43 yards to the 13, but it looked like a certain touchdown.
Well, this has to be a bust in coverage because Orlando Green just let Buchanan run by thinking he had deep over-the-top help. But again, look at the time that Andrew Zhao had to throw it. He was hit by Petty after the throw, but he had a lot of time to let that thing open up.
First catch of the day, just the 4th of the season for Buchanan, a senior from Atlanta out of Douglas High School, where he was a teammate of Tennessee's great running back Jamal Lewis. Dustin McClintock on 1st and 10 gets very little. Randy Garner wrapped him up.
One of the things about this defense that Keith Burns runs, it's an attacking, aggressive, they take some chances, and every now and then they leave themselves vulnerable. They leave themselves open for a big play, and the key is, can the offensive team take advantage of that opportunity? Alabama did right there. There was a bust in the coverage by Orlando Green, a wide receiver running free down the field, and Zal was able to find him and make the throw.
Alabama, 2 touchdowns in the previous 2 trips into the red zone. They're there again. 2nd and a long 9. Alexander, good cutback into the end zone. Touchdown.
Great I formation running team. You've got to have a good blocking fullback. Dustin McClintock right there gets the block, and then look at the cutback by Alexander. He sees it on the backside and takes it to the end zone.
Good block by one of the backup tight ends, Shaun Draper. Also seeing action of the defensive line. The extra point good by Kemp, and Bama leads again by 7.
I'm serving a party of 20 at 7 o'clock, whether this pain goes away or not. So I took something stronger, something faster. I took Advil liquid gels. See, they're stronger and faster on tough pain than extra-strength Tylenol, and, well, it just makes sense that they are. Liquid gels are the only pain reliever with liquid inside. Nobody else has that. Nobody. So when you want something that's faster on tough pain than Tylenol, take Advil liquid gels. Pain relief that's stronger and faster.
Hey, I'm at the hottest club in Chicago to talk about dandruff. Hey, no one got dandruff?
No, I haven't.
Oh, see, no. Yeah, whatever. Someone's lying. Oh, flakes are normal, and they're easy to get rid of, big guy. Hey, you want to get shampooed with Dandruff Control Perk Plus?
Oh, serious? It's like 12 o'clock at night.
It helps prevent dandruff. So even if you don't have it, you won't have it. And I think you're going to want to use it on a regular basis.
I love it. So nice.
Oh, baby. That's Perk Plus Dandruff Control. Come on, let us wash your hair. We can change your mind.
First touchdown of the day for Shaun Alexander's 10th of the season. This is just their 4th game of the year. 7-play, 66-yard drive, and that touchdown run moved Alexander up another notch on the all-time rushing list, past Johnny Musso into 2nd spot behind Bobby Humphrey. He stays healthy, should surpass Humphrey this season. Loudermilk again, struggling to reach the 20-yard line. Inspired special teams play led by Roberto McBride. An 18-yard return to Loudermilk.
Go back to the touchdown. Shaun mentioned the backup tight end Shaun Draper. Watch this block. Down the field, staying with it. This guy split practice time this week on both sides of the ball. He is continuing to drive his man back into the end zone and allows Alexander to cut it back into the end zone. Great work by a guy who really isn't even a full-time tight end. Got a little hand on the jersey, but he also got a great block before that.
Draper was exclusively a defensive lineman this season until Monday.
Yeah.
They finally moved him over to the offensive practice field. He's bounced back and forth in the past. Quick pass. Manuel Smith, an elusive move on the sideline. And he's close to a first down, out of bounds. Chased out by Salim Rashid.
2nd and 1.
2nd down and 1.
You know, Clint Stoerner, this is why Houston Nutt wants him in the ball game. I mean, he knows he's not 100%, but he's been in big games. He's played in SEC games going into the 4th quarter when it meant something. He needs his experience and savvy here to help his team try to win the football game.
In situations like this, changing the play at the line of scrimmage. Pass a little bit high for Lucas. Bumped by Miles from behind just as the ball arrived. And it'll be 3rd down and 1.
Alabama doing a very nice job on Anthony Lucas. This is one-on-one coverage, even though the safety Dixon is coming over the top to help. And Clint Stoerner knows he's just not in that rhythm today. He's not getting the football down and in the right place for his guys to make the catch consistently.
Cedric Cobbs, the tailback, behind Nathan Norman. Norman moves up to get the change in the play, relays the information to Cobbs. Cobbs follows Norman for a first down and much more. He can fly. Cedric Cobbs. Shirt tackled from behind at the 35-yard line of Alabama by Milo Lewis. And that saved a touchdown. It's a 36-yard run for the true freshman.
A 36-yard gain on the play for Shaun Alexander.
Clint Stoerner doing a lot of work at the line of scrimmage in this series, checking out of plays, trying to get his team into the right play. Again, the experience, the savvy to do that on a visiting stadium and get the right run play called. And Cedric Cobbs shows you why he does have a chance, I think, to be a very, very special player in this conference.
Arkansas trying to drive for the tying score. Play action fake to Cobbs in the flat. Norman is wide open. The fullback lowers the boom on a couple of tied defenders. First down out of bounds at the 17-yard line for Nathan Norman, the senior from Jackson, Missouri.
They caught Alabama this time. Alabama's defended the fullback pretty well the last couple times, but this time Darius Gilbert, the linebacker, comes on the rush, and the fullback runs right by him, and nobody picks him up.
Oh, he wanted no part of Norman. Reggie Miles, the first to take the hit. Norman at 243, had no rushes or receptions prior to today. Touched the ball a couple of times today. Almost always a blocker, trying to lead the way for Cobbs, who's tripped up by Kenny King. And Kendall Moorhead, but King the primary tackler. That's one true freshman tackling another.
You know, both Kenny King and Salim Rashid, when the coaches talked about them, they talked about how mature they were, how they prepared in the off-season during the summer, how when they came into training camp this summer, they just didn't act like freshmen. They behaved themselves, and they approached the game with a seriousness that you would expect older guys to do, and that's why they're starting right now as true freshmen at Alabama.
King spends a lot of extra time in the film room. Got great coaching in high school, according to the Alabama coaches. He's out of Daphne High School here in Alabama. Quick toss and a quick tackle. Smith wrapped up immediately by Milo Lewis. And Lewis is not getting up. Gain of 1 on the play. It'll be third down and 10 coming up. The officials have stopped the clock with 2:06 left in the third, so the medical staff can take a look at Lewis.
Milo Lewis has played very well today. Very steady defensive cornerback, not a real flashy guy. It's kind of an awkward fall as he was making the tackle. Receiver just landed right on him.
Milo's a junior from Mountain View, California. We mentioned earlier, JC transfer, was a junior college All-American at the City College of San Francisco last year. He was a teammate at that school with Miguel Merritt and Canary Knight, who are also here at Alabama with him now. A young man who has dealt with tragedy in his life. His mom, Sheila, was killed in a car accident when Milo was 14 years old. I wonder if he just had the wind knocked out of him.
Looks like that might be what happened, Shaun.
Ellis Johnson will have to substitute in the secondary. He's going to send Kelf Bailey back in, the junior from Tuscaloosa, at the high school just a couple of blocks from here at Central High School. And he's played a lot in the past. He's been an off and on starter. Looks like Lewis will be back in shortly. There's Bailey. They also have the true freshman cornerback Gerald Dixon on the field.
If I get man-to-man right here, I'd go to Lucas and just try to throw the ball up and give him a chance. He's right down here. Work.
Stoerner with a lot of time has a receiver, Rossi Moriali. Out of bounds. It appears to be short of a first down. That's the first catch of the season for Morreale and just his second career catch. And he's a senior from Fort Smith, Arkansas.
We've seen the trips formation by Alabama. Here we see Arkansas do it, and they get their man free outside. And at that point, it looks like he'll be able to turn up, but a good tackle by Reggie Miles stops him short. A well-designed play by Arkansas, but just a nice play out there by Reggie Miles.
Houston Nutt's going to go for the first down on 4th and 1 just inside the Alabama 9. And Stoerner burns a timeout with a play clock running down. Now each team has 2 timeouts remaining with 1:40 left in the third quarter, and with Alabama leading 28-21. CBS, America's Night of Heroes returns with the night of season premieres, beginning with Early Edition. Then Sammo Hung and Arsenio Hall swing into action on Martial Law, followed by Chuck Norris and Walker, Texas Ranger. It's all new, and it's all tonight on CBS. Not tomorrow night, it's tonight. We're certain of that. We're told that Milo Lewis did just have the wind knocked out of him. They do expect him back, but Marcus Spencer, the starting safety, has pulled an abdominal muscle, and they do not expect him to return. And we talked earlier that they haven't gotten great safety play this year at Alabama, and the coaches think one of the reasons why they have no depth behind Spencer and Dixon, so those guys get worn down.
It's tough to defend the field, particularly in a game like against Louisiana Tech, where they spread out and throw the ball so many times. It's tough, you know, even if you're a well-conditioned athlete like most defensive backs at this level are, it's still you do an awful lot of running, and it's tough if you can't come out of the football game.
There's Milo Lewis back in. 2 tight ends in the huddle for Arkansas. They're 1 for 3, but the 1 conversion on 4th down was today. Cedric Cobbs, the tailback. Marvin Cast in the fullback.
Stoerner wants motion.
The pitch to Cobbs. He's in trouble trying to turn the corner. Didn't look like he got there. Well, they're going to give him a pretty good spot at the 8-yard line. Looked like he was very close to the sideline at the 10, but apparently he stayed in bounds to the 8. And even then, I'm not sure that he got there. Very tough to tell.
It sure didn't look like he was going to get there. This play was stretched out extremely well by Alabama.
They didn't even measure it. The Arkansas sideline is in an uproar as they say first down Alabama. They wanted at least a measurement. First of all, he went out of bounds at about the 9, but you can see the official was out of the play there. He never should have been given the 8-yard line. It shouldn't have been as close as it was.
Kendall Moorhead does a nice job of getting push, and that forces Cobbs a little wider.
He's out at the 9.
Yeah. Well defended, and Arkansas was gambling there, thinking that Alabama would pinch everything inside, thinking it was going to be an inside run. They went with the toss sweep, and Alabama reacted very well and showed their team speed.
A lot of big plays today for the Bama defense. Shaun Alexander out to the 12, the gain of 4. Let's get an update on the game between Memphis and Tennessee from Tim Brando.
Sean, I want Todd to take a close look at this. Watch Neil Suber, the Memphis quarterback, on what is a pivot and go route for Ken Kutain. Tennessee loses Kutain on Kutain. 82 yards. We're tied at 10 in Knoxville. They're not exactly singing Rocky Top right now.
Must be those orange britches.
Second down. Zhao throws on the run from Miller. He couldn't hang on. Almost made a spectacular one-handed catch, but dropped the ball. He was running stride for stride with Harold Harris, and he almost made the one-handed catch.
Great throw and almost a great catch by Millens. Thrown over the outside shoulder away from Harold Harris, and Millens just couldn't pull it down.
Looked like he was going to catch it, Todd, and at the last second he turned to look and see where the defensive back was. Took his eye off the ball for just a moment before he had totally secured it.
Take a look at Andrew Zhou's numbers. Better than he was last week against Louisiana Tech. He's made a couple errant throws that were picked off in the first half, but has settled down fairly nicely in the ball game at this point.
3rd down and 6, and Alabama's going to use a timeout. With 49 seconds left in the 3rd quarter, Mike Dubose needs victory perhaps to save his job, and he leads in this one by 7.
We've heard your complaints about changing your oil filter, trying to grip that slippery filter. That's why Fram, America's #1 filter, now has Sure Grip, a rough textured top for easy gripping and installing.
It makes changing your oil filter a lot easier.
Hey, Jen, we're counting on you.
Last weekend in the Army Reserve, I had to refuel 6 Apache helicopters in 30 minutes. That got me ready to do battle on Monday.
Hey, not too shabby.
As little as 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks a year. Army Reserve.
Only one timeout left now for Alabama. Now heads back to the huddle. He'll get under the center, Paul Hogan, who is our Rigid Tools Scholar Athlete Award winner for this week. Rigid Tools' commitment to the investment of our future is shown today by donating $1,000 to the University of Alabama's General Scholarship Fund. Third down and 6 after the timeout.
May prove to be a costly timeout there, too, for Alabama.
4 wide receivers spread the field. Zhou zips one to Millens. First down and more. Flag thrown down late in the secondary. Well after the catch, Kenoy Kennedy finally made the tackle at the 34-yard line.
This is going to be a killer penalty on Alabama. Sam Collins, the redshirt freshman wide receiver, I think is going to get caught for a illegal block in the back, trying to help out Freddie Millens. First down was clearly picked up, and an unnecessary penalty by Sam Collins.
Here's a redshirt freshman from Fayette, Alabama. There's the block in the back with David Barrett. Ooh, and Kennedy really leading with the helmet on the tackle.
Take a look again. Here's Sam Collins. At some point, you got to realize that, you know, you just got to pull off on a play like that.
That should be a penalty, too, on the hit, you would think, with leading with the helmet to helmet. The play stands because it was from the spot of the foul, so it is a first down, but they moved the ball back to the 24. Alexander running right, cuts it up the field, and is close to another first down at the 33. Carlos Hall made the stop for Arkansas.
Shaun Alexander showing me a little more toughness running the football in this ball game than I've seen in the past. He's always been really good in space. Didn't think he was as good of a runner in between the tackles, but he's run pretty tough in there today. He's gotten the flashy runs, and he's gotten the tough yards running the football as well.
It's the end of the third quarter with the score Alabama 28 and Arkansas 21. We'll return to Bryant-Denny Stadium right after this message and a word from your local station.
Outside, its aggressive V6 engine gives you the power to run wild. Inside, it's as quiet as the open plains. Motor Week's best small SUV of the year, the V6 Grand Vitara from Suzuki.
That's a Suzuki.
I hope she got my good side.
I think AOL is one big community.
It's not hard at all to use.
Customer service is always there to help.
I've never heard of anybody else having what AOL has.
People that are on are just like you.
America Online. So easy to use, no wonder it's #1. Sign up today.
We've heard your complaints about changing your oil filter, trying to grip that slippery filter. That's why Fram, America's #1 filter, now has Sure Grip, a rough textured top for easy gripping and installing.
It makes changing your oil filter a lot easier.
Is the King of Queens' wife falling for another woman?
Doug, I don't like her better than you.
Prove it. Kill her.
An all-new King of Queens, CBS Monday.
If you've never experienced an earthquake, Sunday, November 14th, you will.
We're still roaming.
Don't like paying roaming charges? Then get free roaming and free long distance with PowerTel's 50-state rates.
PowerTel.
Baby, I met someone new. She's hot and spicy and makes my mouth water.
So where's little Miss Hot to Trot?
Gotcha. It's Crystal's new spicy chick. It's a crispy, real chicken breast filet with just the right amount of spice.
Spicy.
Served in a hot steamed bun for just 79 cents.
Good thing they're open all night, because that bench is going to be your bed.
During Toyota's Making It Happen sales event, we've got 2000s coming and 99s going. And 99 Tacomas are going fast, since the factory has just announced the largest factory-to-dealer incentives of the year. Drive home a 99 Tacoma 4x2 with combined total savings up to $2,550. Or save up to $4,100 in a 4x4. That's $4,100 during the Making It Happen sales event, now through September 30th. See your Toyota dealer today.
Sports fanatic John Appicello, weeknights at 6 and 11.
We're back in Tuscaloosa. Start of the fourth quarter. Alabama leads by a touchdown. Crimson Tide in possession of the ball. Second and short. Second and 2. And McClintock, the fullback, surges ahead and is close to a first down. Todd, it's early in the season for Arkansas, the first SEC game of the season, for Alabama the second. But this is an important game. These two teams are looked upon as two of the favorites, if not the two favorites in the SEC West.
Yeah, critical game. And for Alabama, trying to put all that stuff of the last couple of weeks behind him, take care of business on the field. Arkansas trying to prove last year was no fluke, that they are a legitimate contender in the SEC West. And the fourth quarter is when it really, that's when it all matters. You know, who wants it the most in the fourth quarter? That's what it comes down to.
McClintock did pick up the first down. And Alabama would like a nice, long ball control touchdown drive here. Go ahead by 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. So a long way to go on this march. They're at their own 34. Andrew Zhao from Lake Butler, Florida, of Union County High School. He was 40-0 there as the starting quarterback. His senior year shortened by a torn left ACL. The pitch to Millens. He's going to throw. He was a high school quarterback. He has Jason McAdley. Touchdown, Alabama.
A very good player, very quick. He's able to sidestep him and then on the move make a perfect throw to McAdley down the field.
And Chris Kemp adds the extra point. That's the first catch of the day for McAdley, his first career touchdown reception. Just his 7th career catch for the sophomore from Oak Ridge, Tennessee. And Millen's been a factor catching, running, and throwing today.
Let me help you out. Let me see.
I'm going to turn it on in a second.
You all right?
Oh, yeah.
Hold up. That's how we're going to do it. Come on.
You're in my house now, okay? How much they paying you? Because I don't see it.
This might help you. This really might help you.
I'd take them off if I could find the laces.
Oops. Hope you miss it.
Is that what I think it is? But it's just a...
Try it.
Incredible. The wireless internet right here in my hand. News, sports, even Yahoo. All on Sprint PCS. And the calls?
Clear digital calls. Nothing else has changed.
Do you think they're ready?
Some are. Others will follow.
Introducing the Sprint PCS Wireless Web.
I'm from AXA Advisors.
AXA Advisors.
Yes. That's a new name.
For thousands of financial professionals. Like me.
And me.
We help people take the long view. Achieve goals like college tuition.
A secure retirement.
A better life.
It's all based
on a relationship. A long-term relationship. And soon, very soon,
we can start working.
together.
Building your future.
AXA Advisors. Building futures.
Samo and Arsenio are back.
You found a bomb?
I am a bomb! In the unforgettable season premiere.
I just triggered it.
Of Martial Law, CBS tonight.
Arkansas plays an attack style of defense. They know they will occasionally give up big plays. The Alabama coaches said when we get the chance for the big play, we have to make it. They just did. Razzle-dazzle, a 66-yard touchdown pass. Millens to McCadley. And once again, the kickoff return unit isn't doing much for Arkansas. A tackle made by Philip Weeks. Loudermilk just barely crossed the 20 to the 21-yard line.
You attack an aggressive defense with misdirection. Plays where you get the defense running one way and come back the other way. And again, Freddie Millens executed it so well by buying himself time and then making a perfect throw. It's Dabo Sweeney, the wide receiver coach. He's got to be happy. One of his guys threw it, the other guy caught it.
Now work to do for the veteran Clint Stoerner. Down by 2 touchdowns. A minute into the fourth quarter. Out of the shotgun. His pass almost intercepted by Darius Gilbert, the linebacker. He was looking for the tight end, Joe Dean Davenport, but Gilbert got a hand on it. Couldn't quite haul it in.
Gilbert's another one of these young, talented linebackers. Ellis Johnson said his motor doesn't run quite as high as some of the other guys. Maybe the true freshman Salim Rashid has a little higher motor, but as far as talent, Darius Gilbert, every bit as talented as any of these other linebackers, going to play a lot for this team.
Stoerner 15 for 31 for 168 yards and an interception. He's not thrown a touchdown. He came in having thrown at least 1 touchdown pass in 15 straight games. And at least 2 TD passes in 13 of the last 14 games. The flags and whistles stop the play.
Ball before the snap. False start. Interior lineman. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still. Second down.
Arkansas has had a very poor day offensively. And difficult for Stoerner with the bad arm. They haven't gotten the running game going. We take a look at the SEC West standings. And the top 3 teams at the top there are the 3 that people were looking at when the season began. Mississippi State has a fairly easy conference schedule this year.
If there is such a thing.
Cedric Cobbs finally taken down by Milo Lewis. Very short gain on that play. Well, next Saturday, the game that you will see will either be the Crimson Tide at Gainesville taking on 3rd-ranked Florida, or Auburn visiting number 7 Tennessee in Knoxville. That's next Saturday. The Home Depot College Football right here on CBS Sports. Third and 15. Stoerner with a lot of time, going for much more than a 15, and it is caught! Caught by Anthony Lucas. 2 defenders there, and Lucas came away with the ball and a first down at the 38 of Alabama on a gain of 46 yards.
Arkansas does this better than a lot of people. They throw that ball up high, and they let Anthony Lucas go and catch the football.
Arkansas plays an attack style of defense. They know they will occasionally give up big plays. The Alabama coaches said when we get the chance for the big play, we have to make it. They just did. Razzle-dazzle, a 66-yard touchdown pass. Millens to McCadley. And once again, the kickoff return unit isn't doing much for Arkansas. The tackle made by Philip Weeks. Loudermilk just barely crossed the 20 to the 21-yard line.
You attack an aggressive defense with misdirection. Plays where you get the defense running one way and come back the other way. And again, Freddie Millens executed it so well by buying himself time and then making a perfect throw. It's Dabo Sweeney, the wide receiver coach. He's got to be happy. One of his guys threw it, the other guy caught it.
Now work to do for the veteran Clint Stoerner. Down by 2 touchdowns. A minute into the fourth quarter. Out of the shotgun. His pass almost intercepted by Darius Gilbert, the linebacker. He was looking for the tight end, Joe Dean Davenport, but Gilbert got a hand on it. Couldn't quite haul it in.
Gilbert's another one of these young, talented linebackers. Ellis Johnson said his motor doesn't run quite as high as some of the other guys. Maybe the true freshman Salim Rashid has a little higher motor, but as far as talent, Darius Gilbert, every bit as talented as any of these other linebackers, going to play a lot for this team.
Stoerner 15 for 31 for 168 yards and an interception. He's not thrown a touchdown. He came in having thrown at least 1 touchdown pass in 15 straight games. And at least 2 TD passes in 13 of the last 14 games. The flags and whistles stop the play.
Ball before the snap. False start. Interior lineman. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still. Second down.
Arkansas has had a very poor day offensively. And difficult for Stoerner with the bad arm. They haven't gotten the running game going. We take a look at the SEC West standings. And the top 3 teams at the top there are the 3 that people were looking at when the season began. Mississippi State has a fairly easy conference schedule this year.
If there is such a thing.
Cedric Cobbs finally taken down by Milo Lewis. Very short gain on that play. Well, next Saturday, the game that you will see will either be the Crimson Tide at Gainesville taking on 3rd-ranked Florida, or Auburn visiting number 7 Tennessee in Knoxville. That's next Saturday. The Home Depot College Football right here on CBS Sports. Third and 15. Stoerner with a lot of time, going for much more than the 15, and it is caught! Caught by Anthony Lucas. 2 defenders there, and Lucas came away with the ball and a first down at the 38 of Alabama on a gain of 46 yards.
Arkansas does this better than a lot of people. They throw that ball up high, and they let Anthony Lucas go and catch the football. He catches the deep ball as well as anybody, but that's a play that Tony Dixon, the free safety, needs to make for Alabama. He's in position, he sees the football, and it goes right through his arm. That's the kind of play Ellis Johnson was saying. We need our safeties to make those kind of plays.
Stoerner with hand signals for the wide receivers. Cedric Cobbs, the lone back. 2 tight ends in the game. Quick pass deflected and almost intercepted. It was Herschel Bolden, the true freshman reserve cornerback number 25. He got his hands on that Stoerner pass.
But Stoerner's been in a lot of battles. 3 years as a starter. He's learned on the job. He's paid his dues. He took his lumps early in his career. Played very well last year and started out this season playing well, but playing a little banged up today.
Same signal out to the wideouts. Play clock running down. Almost at 1 when he took the snap. Lofts it up again, and it is incomplete. Great chance for an interception for Reggie Miles. Hubert Loudermilk, the wide receiver, literally cast in the position of having to break up that play.
You're absolutely right, Shaun. Did a great job of playing defensive back at this point. When he knew he had no chance to make the catch, Miles in perfect position. Watch Loudermilk turn into a defensive back and bring the strip in with his left hand. That's a heads-up play by the wide receiver, Loudermilk. That ball thrown too far inside. It really made it difficult on the wide receiver, and Loudermilk bailed his quarterback out that time.
Stoerner now with 214 yards passing. He's moved past Barry Lunny to become the all-time career passing yardage leader at Arkansas. Flushed from the pocket. Dropped by Cobbs. 4th down and 10 with 13:20 remaining. At this field position, I would guess they might go for it.
They might go for it. Alabama went to a 3-man rush that time, played a zone defense with 8 defenders, and that's why Stoerner had nowhere to go with the football downfield, tried to dump it off to Cobbs. Good changeup call that time by Ellis Johnson to go with the 3-man rush with the zone.
Alabama leads by 2 touchdowns. Trying to stop this Arkansas drive at the Alabama 38. 4th down and 10. In the snap at 1 on the play clock. Stoerner throws, caught. Close to a first down, he has it. Big conversion on 4th and 10. Emmanuel Smith picked up 13 to the 25-yard line. Reggie Miles made the stop.
Good protection up front by Arkansas. This beleaguered offensive line did a nice job of giving Stoerner time on that 4th down play. And Stoerner made a nice throw, had a good vision, good open throwing lane, and the nice low throw. And then you see the strength at the end of the play by Emmanuel Smith. 223-pound wide receiver able to stretch forward.
From the Alabama 25, 1st and 10. Stoerner, a lot of time again. Finally, he was pressured, he threw it away. Let's check in with Tim Brandone. Get another update. Tim?
Fellas, this game was moved from Greenville, North Carolina to Raleigh's Carter Finley Stadium due to the flooding in Greenville from Hurricane Floyd. Here's a hurricane for you. Reggie Wayne, 21 yards from Kenny Kelly. By the way, Memphis is leading Tennessee 13-10. The Vols just fumbled going in at Memphis's 1-yard line midway in the 4th.
Wow. Memphis, the big upset a couple of years ago in Memphis. Peyton Manning was a junior. They were 4-touchdown underdogs that time. And the snap on 1. Stoerner with a flag down, thrown where you'd expect offensive holding. Stoerner down after a gain of 3. Wrapped up by Darius Gilbert after Cornelius Griffin chased Stoerner away from the pocket. And it is a holding call, the preliminary indication from the referee, Ron Gilbert.
Again, these inside guys for Alabama have created a lot of problems. Watch the center right here. Kenny Sandlin, that's where the hold is going to occur on Cornelius Griffin. Cornelius and Kenny Smith really playing well inside today for Alabama.
The CBS Sports Line stat of the game, yardage by half. Both teams much improved in accumulating yardage after a defensive struggle in the first half. For complete college football coverage, go to cbs.sportsline.com. They accepted the penalty. 2nd down and 25 at the 40-yard line of Alabama. 12:20 remaining. Out of the gun. Stoerner running for his life. Pushed out of bounds by Jason Jones. Pressured out of the pocket by Jarrett Johnson, who showed some athleticism at 6'4", 268 as he went leaping over an offensive lineman to continue his pursuit of Stoerner. 30 yards to go for a first down for Houston. Now who doubles as the offensive coordinator, calls the plays.
And if you're Clint Stoerner right here, you're thinking, I don't need to get it all on this play. I've got to get something here to bring up a more reasonable fourth down situation.
Stoerner throws low, but caught by Emmanuel Smith. That was Stoerner's attitude, apparently, Todd, because they got a little less than half of the necessary yardage. And now, with fourth and even more than 10, well, the field goal unit started on. Yeah. Are they going back?
They brought him back off.
Yeah, they had started on.
Now Arkansas is going to call a timeout to take them to one timeout left in the ball game as well.
That could be an expensive timeout with an eye toward the conclusion of this game. We'll find out what Coach Nutt's going to do after this.
There's this place in the neighborhood where they have these outrageous you pick two platters, and basically you pick 2 out of 3 entrees. It's 2 on 1 plate. Be it the Cajun steak with all those sizzling spices, or a pile of succulent roasted garlic shrimp, or barbecue chicken with that sauce that sticks to your lips and your mind like some really interesting dream. It was too good to end, but it will, just like the you pick 2 platters. 2 entrees, 1 plate, only at Applebee's.
When was the last time you felt 284 horses tugging at your soul? When was the last time you immersed yourself in hand-tufted virgin leather? Can you really put a price on this kind of perfection? Actually, you can, because this $70,000 car could cost you over $326,000 in retirement savings. We just thought you should know. Ask a financial advisor about Sun America, the retirement specialist.
Scientists announced today the discovery of a new element. They're calling it turbonium. El turbonio es único. The addition of turbonium to the periodic table of elements was its electrons traveling at a rate of speed. En la física cuántica. But practical applications are still. Turbonium.
Turbonium.
Back to you, John.
The Home Depot College Football on CBS is sponsored by Applebee's Bar and Grill, Sprint PCS, Sure Grip by Fram, and by Sun America.
Arkansas down by 14 points, 11:48 remaining. 4th down and 13 at the 28 of Alabama. Stoerner out of the shotgun, just a 4-man rush. But they put pressure on. He throws over the head of Emmanuel Smith. He was open, but the pass was high, and Ellis Johnson's defense holds.
So much attention being focused on Anthony Lucas by the Alabama defense. Emmanuel Smith having to try to step up for the Razorbacks. And he was open, but the ball just sailed on Clint Stoerner. Hit at the end of the play again. Kenny King, a true freshman, in there applying pressure.
The Tide in possession of the ball from its own 29-yard line. As you'd expect, they go to the ground, and Alexander's tackled from behind by DJ Cooper, the defensive tackle from Mesquite, Texas. He hasn't played much the last couple of years. Now as a senior, he is a starter, and he's already getting the attention of the pro scouts, according to the Arkansas coaches.
At this point, if you're Alabama, you don't want to get complacent. You don't want to mail it in with 11 minutes left, but you want to be very smart with the football. And as far as Andrew Zhao is concerned, use the clock a little bit. Milk the clock. Let the play clock go down and use as much time as you can without taking the intensity away from your offense. Arkansas needs 2 scores to tie this thing up.
Well, they weren't ready at the snap. Zhao had to snap it. Now he loses the football right into the hands of Cooper. He caught it in the air when Lancaster hit Zhao. Sasha Lancaster hit Zhao. The ball popped up in the air. It was difficult to tell whether the arm was going forward or not because it's A moot point now with Cooper catching the ball in the air. 6 Alabama turnovers.
We mentioned Sasha Lancaster makes plays. This time he beats the freshman Dante Ellington and gets to the quarterback. And another huge defensive turnover forced by Arkansas. Zhao never felt Lancaster coming from the backside. And DJ Cooper comes up with the football.
Great field position at the 22. Exactly what Arkansas needed. They have ruled out an interception, and now they ram into the center. Kenny Smith came charging across the line of scrimmage.
That's what I was trying to point out there, Shaun. You don't want to get complacent on offense. You want to stay within your plan, but you got to be smart with the football and protect the football. Give them the football now deep in your own territory, and that team needs 2 scores.
We mentioned earlier, Shaun Alexander said, hey, we're the ones who made 4 turnovers last week. You can't blame that on the coach or the athletic director. But when you have a recurring problem with turnovers, with penalties, timeout management, to me, those are still indicative of a team that maybe does have some issues to address in terms of coaching. Hobbs got belted as he tried to turn the corner. Cornelius Griffin made the stop. Some would point at those recurring problems as indications of coaching. You think that's fair enough?
Well, I don't know if it's coaching or if it's whatever it is, it's a lack of concentration. And whether that starts with the coaching or whether it's the players not being responsible enough or just having a lot of young players. Well, maybe a combination of all, but most of the mistakes that we've seen, you know, with the penalties and the clock things, those are a lack of concentration problems for Alabama today.
2nd and short. 2nd down and a short 3. Stoerner pursued on the backside. Throws toward the end zone. Caught. Touchdown. Great catch in traffic by Jodine Davenport, the tight end. Clint Stoerner is courageous, playing with a shoulder that is obviously affecting his throwing motion. Pursued all afternoon long. He's taken a lot of hits. He held in there when he knew he was going to get belted, Todd, and make the throw to Davenport.
Jodine Davenport, a big target, and you're right. What a courageous warrior Clint Stoerner is.
The extra point to make it a 7-point game. The first catch of the day by Davenport, his first touchdown of the season, just his 2nd reception of the season. He's a good pass receiver, but they don't send him out often in the patterns because they need him to stay in and help the inexperienced offensive line. The extra point good. Arkansas capitalizes on another turnover.
Hello, Stuart. So you're Abigail's special friend from the office. Oh.
Yeah, whatever. Okay, Stuart, what are your plans for the future?
Well, I wouldn't mind living here.
No, what's your passion, Stuart?
I like to trade online. You ever heard of Ameritrade?
I'm a stockbroker's son.
Dad, he only pays $8 a trade.
Give a kid a computer and he thinks he can beat the market.
I don't want to beat the market. I want to grab it, sock it in the gut a couple times, turn it upside down, hold it by the pants, shake them out to all those pockets, empty out all that spare change. Let's see.
Ameritrade. Call now.
Scientists announced today the discovery of a new element. They're calling it turbonium.
El turbonio es único.
The addition of turbonium to the periodic table of elements was its electrons traveling at a rate of speed.
En la física cuántica.
But practical applications are still turbonium.
Turbonium.
Back to you, John.
We've heard your complaints about changing your oil filter, trying to grip that slippery filter. That's why Fram, America's #1 filter, now has Sure Grip, a rough textured top for easy gripping and installing.
It makes changing your oil filter a lot easier.
Who can solve this? Mr. Montez.
Last Saturday in the Army Reserve, I linked up 40 tanks, 60 Humvees, and 7,000 troops. On Monday, class was no sweat.
Not bad, Mr. Montez.
As little as 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks a year. Army Reserve.
Shot out of the sky, Walker and his fiancée are stranded on an island. Will rescuers reach them first?
Tell me that these are the good guys.
Or will they be caught in a killer's trap? They're not. Chuck Norris returns in the season premiere of Walker, Texas Ranger. CBS tonight.
Clint Stoerner trying to bring his Arkansas team back. One thing I like about what he does with bootleg and play action, watch this. You see him stick the ball out there. All these guys are looking at the football, and then he comes out with the bootleg. It's a good play action fake. It freezes the linebackers, and it opens up his tight end on the bootleg.
Joe Dean Davenport, the reception. He plays on the Arkansas basketball team for Nolan Richardson when the football season is over. Kickoff down by Millens in the end zone. Here's Michelle.
Well, you guys, the Razorbacks have dedicated this season to the memory of Brandon Burlsworth. As Shaun mentioned, he died tragically in a head-on car collision just 11 days after being drafted in the 3rd round by the Indianapolis Colts. Burlsworth was so loved in Arkansas that the university has retired his jersey, number 77, and has forever enshrined his locker. There is no way to do justice to this story in a single broadcast, but perhaps teammate Sasha Lancaster put it best when he said, if God ever made a perfect person, it was that guy.
And on first down, Alexander dropped for a loss by Carlos Hall. Up until then, Burlsworth's story had been storybook, as Houston Nutt said when we talked with him, and they're wearing a patch in his memory as number 77. He came to Arkansas as a walk-on, earned a scholarship, became one of the best players in the country, was drafted. The Colts people were talking about him being a 10-year starter on their offensive line. A young man who lived his life in an exemplary fashion off the field.
Really loved playing his last year at Arkansas with all the excitement and the winning with Houston Nutt.
On 2nd and 12, McCadley with some running room. He's finally pulled down at the 48-yard line of Arkansas by Jeremy Flowers, and they are making some big plays against this attacking Hog defense. 34 yards on that completion to McCadley.
Andrew Zhao did a nice job of buying a little time, moving just a hair in the pocket. And I want you to see something. When McCadley catches the ball, Antrea Moss is going to overrun the play. Ran right by him, was in a position to make the tackle. Would have been for a gain, but a short gain. And McCadley then had open field in front of him after the catch. Again, an aggressive defense that plays 100 miles an hour. Sometimes they overrun things. Antrea Moss did that time.
Back to the ground game. Good push by the offensive line. Alexander dragged down at the 25-yard line by Kanoy Kennedy. They'll give him the 24-yard line. A gain of 24. Back-to-back big plays for Alabama.
Watch the little dip by Shaun Alexander. It's not a very noticeable thing. It's a little subtle dip right in there, a little dip into the inside, and that was enough to freeze those outside defenders and then use his speed to get to the outside. Watch Shaun Alexander on the counter trap. He'll take a little step to the inside, and that's all it needs right there, that little step with the right foot to freeze the outside defenders.
And there in the middle of your screen, his brother Duran Alexander. Mentioned him earlier, the Notre Dame graduate, former drummer in the Irish marching band. Shaun Alexander gets very little on that first down carry. Jamel Harris made the tackle.
Duran's living.
There's a Duran with all the Notre Dame friends we mentioned earlier around him. The budding doctors and engineers.
Duran's living up in my neck of the woods now, up in Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio. Just north of where I live in Canton, Ohio.
Well, you said he was kind of in the high rent district there.
Well, yeah, he said, he said Akron, but he's really in Cuyahoga Falls. That is kind of a nice area up there now.
2nd and 10. Zhao stumbled coming away from center. Here's Michelle.
Yeah, just a reminder, you guys, that Shaun Alexander actually said it was tough to grow up in the shadow of Duran. He was a class president before I was, and he did everything right. He was the brains in the family, and it was just tough growing up behind him. But now Duran is here today taking great pride in his brother's performance. Back to you.
Well, the parents have to be proud of both of them.
Absolutely.
They have 3 half-brothers who are much older. Spread formation on 3rd down and long. 2 out of 3 on 3rd and 10 or more. This is 3rd and 13. Zhao, look out! Lost his helmet, stayed on his feet. But they're whistling him down at the 35-yard line. And the crowd boos the call. Credit Carlos Hall with a sack. And a very big sack, Todd, because that might take them out of field goal position.
Well, they had the stumble on second down that backed him up a few yards. This backs him up a lot more. His knee was not down. Maybe it was a protection thing for Andrew Zhao right there.
They might have ruled that his forward progress had been stopped.
Yeah. You're exactly right. Now here comes the punt team for Alabama.
That took them out of field goal range. Bear in mind that their starting field goal kicker Ryan Flugner, their delay of game here as well. Play clock at 0. Ryan Flugner out with a quad muscle pull, so they have Chris Kemp, the backup kicker, handling the placements, and his longest field goal is 32 yards. Tried from 47 today, no good.
Well, this
would be better than 50-yard field goal try.
Yeah. And this penalty doesn't hurt Alabama. I mean, actually, it probably helps the punter, gives them a little bit more room to work. The pooch kick is a difficult thing to execute anyway.
Patrick Morgan, senior from Birmingham, backup punter behind Daniel Pope until this season. So his first game action this year. He's done a very good job. End over end punt. And it takes a nice bounce for Bama. It'll be down inside the 10-yard line. They're going to spot it at the 8. Tomorrow on the NFL Today, join Jim, Craig, Randy, and Jerry for all the latest NFL news. Plus, Marcus Allen visits with Steelers quarterback Cordell Stewart. Jerry looks into one of the league's top defenses, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, led by Warren Sapp as they get ready to face Denver. That's all coming up tomorrow at noon Eastern on the NFL Today. Stay with the crew for the NASDAQ halftime report for all the NFL scores and highlights at halftime of the games tomorrow. Arkansas needs to go 92 yards for a tying score. Stoerner with 5:35 remaining has a first down and some breathing room as Michael Williams was tackled by Marvin Constant at the 20. A gain of 12 for the senior Louisiana native Williams. We're going to go right up over the ball. We'll quickly give you a glimpse of our menu of NFL games tomorrow on a early basis. Denver at Tampa Bay, Seattle and Pittsburgh among the highlighted games. Tennessee, Jacksonville, Indianapolis, and San Diego, two much improved teams at 4:05. Flag down. Alabama was offside. Cedric Cobbs the catch in a 7-yard gain. They will likely take the penalty, make it 1st and 5, I would think, Todd, instead of 2nd and 3.
Yeah, stay with that first down.
Reggie Grimes was across the line of scrimmage for Alabama.
Again, it's fun. It's exciting for me to watch Clint Stoerner battle out here, knowing that he's hurting, knowing that he's not 100%. We saw the same thing last week with T. Martin, playing with a banged shoulder, getting beat around, hanging in there, trying to make plays. That's exactly why Houston Nutt said he would rather have him on the field right now than a backup who's healthy.
They are going to take the penalty, 1st and 5 instead of 2nd and 3. 9 penalties for Alabama for 53 yards and 6 turnovers, and yet they lead.
Yeah.
By a touchdown over the 14th ranked team in the nation. 1 timeout left for each team. 4 receivers spreading the field. Cobbs in close to Stoerner, throws it away off his back foot. Crowd wants a grounding call.
I can't tell if Stoerner was just throwing this away because it wasn't there, or else there was a miscommunication between he and Lucas. I think he was throwing that one away, and Lucas had turned to the inside, so no viable receiver out there.
Option look. Cedric Cobbs, stutter step, got 2, and that's all. Ball came out, but they're ruling him down. Perhaps they're ruling the ball went out of bounds because they are spotting it along the sideline. Chris Horn made the hit that knocked the ball out. Interesting that Cobbs, the true freshman at crunch time, in there and has been lately instead of the veteran Chris Chikuma.
Well, possibly the thinking is that he gives them a little more ability to make a big play, a big run, or a big catch. but he's got to protect the football. A little freshman mistake there, hesitating on the run and then not protecting the football.
They moved the ball back to the 26-yard line. So it's going to be 3rd and 4 instead of the 3rd and 2. Originally the ball was marked where the play was down at the 28-yard line. They've moved it back. Chikuma is back in the game now, and the pass is over his head. Tough to tell who Stoerner was throwing that to. He had Chikuma and Emmanuel Smith just a few feet apart, and he airmailed Chikuma. And I think with this much time left in this field position, you have to punt.
Yeah, you have to punt and hope your defense has played well the first 2 ball games. They've made plays. They've created turnovers. Hope they can stop Alabama one more time and hopefully get some better field position the next time around.
High snap, handled by Richie Butler. Short, wobbly punt. Takes a bad bounce for Arkansas. The Hogs down at the 45-yard line. Just a 29-yard punt for Butler when they really needed a good one. And he had to contest with a high snap. Contend with a high snap. Freddie Millens, he's been impressive today.
He has been a playmaker today, catching the football, caught a touchdown on this wide receiver screen. Shows you the quick feet, the ability to make a big play, and then he even threw one. The former high school quarterback out of Starkville, Mississippi. Perfect throw to McAdley. And a big play coming off of a timeout really caught the Arkansas defense by surprise.
2 tight ends for Alabama. Alexander running behind the left side. The offensive line was tackled by Quentin Caver, but a quality gain on first down across midfield to the 49-yard line of Arkansas.
Similar situation last week when they were leading Louisiana Tech late in the ball game, trying to run out the clock. In that case, they gave the ball back to Tim Rattay and the Bulldogs with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left and ended up giving up a game-winning touchdown on 4th and 23. You have a young football team. Sometimes you have to learn lessons the hard way. This is a good test for this offense now. Can they put the game away with the football right now?
We'll stay with the 2 tight end look. Alexander. First down and more. Down to the 37-yard line. Jamel Harris and Antrea Moss made the stop on Alexander up to 162 yards. We talked about his Heisman Trophy candidacy. He knew on national TV against the talented defense he needed a big game. He's had it today.
He has. He's come to play today. The only thing I didn't like was a couple of the fumbles. You know, he wasn't particularly careful with the football every time he carried it. But other than that, he's made plays, he's run, and again, it's been a big game, a big stage for him, and he's performed well.
Hard to believe with the rich history, no Alabama players ever won the Heisman Trophy. Alexander slice it out to the right, reach the 35, and pick up a 2. Going to be 2nd down and 8. The clock is the ally of the Tide. 1 timeout left for the Razorbacks. 1 for the Crimson Tide as well. We're under 3 minutes remaining. I was surprised when we were talking about Shaun Alexander's Heisman candidacy that they haven't had a winner. The best finish, David Palmer, 3rd and 93. Leroy Jordan is here today. He was honored as an outstanding alum by the University of Alabama. Johnny Musso also finished 4th. Sean Bohannon comes in at tailback. We have Sean A and Sean B, as they call them, the top 2 tailback positions. Bohannon wrestled down from behind by Jeremy Flowers. It'll be 3rd down and 8. No gain on that play. The clock's going to run under 2 minutes. Think about that timeout they used to think about whether or not to go for the 4th down play a few minutes ago. Arkansas would love to have that now.
Arkansas's thinking one more stop here. If they can stop them on this play, then they'll probably use their last timeout right here.
The lack of a rushing game again has to be a concern for Arkansas. This inexperienced offensive line. Alabama's run well, over 200 yards rushing. On 3rd down and 8, Zhao throws it incomplete. Looked like it might be a sack. Looked like a very dangerous throw with the man right on him. But it fell to the ground. It'll be 4th down and 8. They will probably punt again. They didn't try a field goal from just about this spot moments ago.
Alabama tried to fool him with a little throwback here. Actually, you know what? I think that was supposed to be just a run by Andrew Zhao. I don't think it was supposed to be a pass. By the look of Freddie Millens on that play, he thought Andrew Zhao was just going to run, and Zhao had nowhere to go and tried to make the throw. Now Arkansas got to save their timeout.
That's right, and the clock stops on the incompletion with 1:32 to go. A couple of big breaks there for Arkansas. Morgan will try to pin them deep again, but he got too much of that one. Arkansas will have to go 80 yards for a game-tying touchdown in 1:26 with one timeout. The Alabama fans, thinking back to last week against Louisiana Tech, have to be thinking, here we go again, now and again. Friday on CBS. New York Magazine calls now and again the best thing by far on any of the networks. Don't miss an all-new episode Friday on CBS, America's most watched network. Clint Stoerner, 21 of 44 for 262 yards. Under a heavy rush, throws incomplete. Kenny King applying the heat. With a sore shoulder here in the second half, facing the deficit with the lack of a good running game. He's had to throw a lot on that injured right shoulder. 45 attempts now.
See that first two games, and that led you to believe that they had some problems, considering they played SMU and Louisiana Monroe and only averaged 112 yards rushing. You knew they were going to have some problems today against Alabama.
2nd and 10. Stoerner avoids King. Flag thrown to the backfield. A pass dropped by Jason Jones. Looked like Shannon Money pulled Kenny King down. The tackle guilty of holding. We'll see if Mike Dubose takes it. Does he want the penalty, repeat the down, 2nd down, or will he like 3rd down and 10?
Again, those two guys on the inside, Cornelius Griffin, the senior, Kenny Smith, the junior, creating major problems for the center and guard. Take a look. Here's the hold right here on Kenny King getting involved.
Jason Jones. Think back again to last week where the coach just said at the end of that game against Louisiana Tech, so many chances we had to just make one big play that could ice the game. We couldn't make it. There's another one.
That's right.
Would have iced the game if Jones could have held on. He's a backup, playing in part because of Marcus Spencer's departure with the abdominal pull. They did take the penalty, 2nd and 20 from the 10-yard line. Deafening noise. Stoerner trying to change the play. 1:16 remaining. Stoerner throws, dropped again by Jones. We now know why he is not a wide receiver.
That's the old saying. Probably a great athlete, but if they can't catch it consistently, they play defense and not offense. Clint Stoerner in the face of a very loud crowd here in the last minute, trying to change the play. Jason Jones for the 2nd play in a row.
As loud as the crowd has been all day for this big 3rd down and 20. Stoerner from the goal line, throwing it up, hoping for a play. It's incomplete. We talked about how he's obviously labored today with the shoulder, Todd, and Houston Nutt might be kicking himself even more now. Stoerner was injured in the game last week when they had a 34-6 lead in the 4th quarter. The opponent, Louisiana Monroe, had just scored. Nutt put Stoerner back in, and that's when he suffered the injury, and that was a decision that was widely questioned in Arkansas. And I think deservedly so.
Yeah, and he was kicking himself about it too. I mean, he said all the right things after the game and gave his reasoning, but I think when it was all said and done, he really realized that he probably shouldn't have done that, and wished he wouldn't have, and hurt his chances of having a 100% quarterback to have the best chance to win this game against Alabama, as it turns out.
Well, Louisiana Tech won the game last week on 4th and forever. It looked like Alabama was offside. There is a flag down, a free throw for Stoerner, incomplete. But it did look like Cornelius Griffin was offside. It came down to just this kind of situation last week for the Alabama defense. When in the final seconds, the last-ditch play, Louisiana Tech threw the touchdown pass. The backup quarterback, Brian Stallworth, to Sean Cangelosi. And again, Alabama has to stop one last play on 4th down. Here's the touchdown thrown by Stallworth. The backup, Tim Rattay, the Heisman candidate for Louisiana Tech, was injured and watching as they were taking him to the locker room.
You know, the other thing that you mentioned, not being able to make some plays on the ball. On that drive, they also gave up a 4th and 10 and a 3rd and 23 before the touchdown.
Arkansas has used its final timeout. 58 seconds left. 4th and 15 upcoming.
Are you ready? Ready to spend more time living and less time ironing? Then get new wrinkle-reducing Downy Premium Care. It's going to change the way you feel about your clothes. It has clear, natural enhancers that help reduce wrinkles. So right out of the dryer, your clothes are more ready to wear, which leaves you ready to live. And for less than a penny a garment, why let wrinkles stand in your way? New Downy Premium Care, ready to wear.
Hi, I'm Maximum Protection, the authority for Napa Gold filters. Today's driving conditions are severe, with frequent stopping and road dirt. But I hold 45% more dirt than the leading national brand. And that's important, because I help your engine last longer. So put me to work and get the maximum protection of Napa Gold filters.
Napa, over 200,000 parts, and every one's important.
The swamps of Louisiana. There's only one reason why we would bring Honda ATVs to this kind of mud, this kind of terrain, this kind of non-stop torture, to see if they could get out. They're America's most popular ATVs for America's least popular places. Now, ride off with our best financing, 8.9%.
Ray and Deborah are having a marital meltdown, and you'll never guess why.
Keep telling yourself she's nuts.
Frank, I can see and hear you.
And all new Raymond, CBS Monday.
4th down and 15. Must-convert situation for Arkansas. Its own 15-yard line. Out of timeouts with 58 seconds left. Just a 3-man rush. Stoerner throws. Caught! Lucas, did he give up the first down? They're going to give him forward progress across the 30. Wow. He almost made a tremendous mistake and cut back inside the 30-yard line. Mike Dubose thought he did, but they're going to give him right on the 30 and a first down.
Alabama goes with the 3-man rush, electing to play 8 in pass coverage. And you're right, Anthony Lucas had the first down easily and then made the decision to try to step back. Boy, there was not much forward progress there at all.
That was right in front of the Alabama sideline. Bruce did not want him up to the line of scrimmage quickly. They do get the stoppage and play for the first down. The crowd just saw the replay on the big screen. Mike Dubose still in the ear of the official on the far sideline. No timeout. Still 70 yards to go. Stoerner over the middle. Chikuma caught it. Well, they have put a timeout back on the scoreboard, Todd, for Arkansas. We were under the impression that they had used the last timeout. There's still one on the scoreboard. We're going to check it with the official stats and find out. That play cost Arkansas a lot of timeout. They have no timeouts left. The scoreboard in the stadium is in error. 2nd and 1. The pass to Morreale. Great catch! First down at the 32-yard line. They'll stop the clock for a moment to move the chains with 11 seconds left. Rossi Morreale had one career catch heading into today's game, and he's a senior. He's had 2 big receptions today.
2 Alabama defenders in position to make the play, but Morreale's the one who went up and got the football.
Last 2 times Arkansas has come to Alabama, they've scored on the last possession to win by 1 point. Apparently they said Morreale got out of bounds, so they don't have to be over the ball and spike it. They're at the 31-yard line of Alabama. 4 wide receivers, 3 to the right. Stoerner rolling to the right. Throws, and it is incomplete with 6 seconds left, broken up by Kelf Bailey. Now they have to throw it in the end zone.
Yeah, they only got one more play now. That rollout, that half roll, took a lot of time for Clint Stoerner. Stoerner trying to get the football down the field, and the receiver late in turning around to find it. Michael Williams never picked up the football.
Mike Dubois still upset about that spot on the Lucas catch on 4th and 15. And now he has to dodge another last-second throw to the end zone for the second straight weekend. They did not dodge last weekend against Louisiana Tech. Again, they send the receivers out to the right. Stoerner throws it up toward the end zone. It's a jump ball. It is a struggle. It is no signal. Incomplete. After deliberation, the officials deem it was an incomplete pass. And Alabama, down to the final play for the second straight week, hangs on this time for a much-needed victory for the Tide, and particularly for Coach Mike Dubois. I still don't know what happened to that ball in that pile, Tom.
I know. Maybe we'll see it on the replay here. You throw it up in the crowd. You hope that your receivers can go up. Lucas went up.
There it is. It hit the ground. Good call by the officials.
Yep, great call.
Because an Arkansas player did wind up with it off the bounce. Here's Michelle Tafoya with Mike Dubois.
All right, Coach, what a nail-biting end. Describe what was going through your mind.
It was an outstanding football game between two really fine football teams. Arkansas did a great job. We got to protect the football. We're fortunate to be in it, but our kids showed an awful lot of class, an awful lot of character, and I can't tell you how proud of them I am for the way they won this football game.
I have to ask you, do you feel like this win is important in terms of taking the focus off of you and putting it back on your team?
I don't know about all that, but this football team is a good football team, and they show an awful lot of character, and we're going to be a good football team. You know, the other stuff we don't have any control over.
Coach, thanks very much. Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Sean?
First win ever against a ranked opponent for Mike Dubois as head coach at Alabama, and a very tough loss, the first of the season for Arkansas. And the upper hand in the SEC West for Alabama off this victory. Stoerner gutted it out all day. Clearly was not at his best throwing the football with a shoulder injury. Mike Dubois this time can breathe a sigh of relief as the final gun sounds. For Michelle Tafoya, Todd Blackledge, Sean McDonough saying so long from Tuscaloosa. Alabama the winner, 35-28 over Arkansas.